Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for Below Grade Level. Buckle up and get ready for the time of your life. Hello and welcome to Below Grade Level, the show where we take the books that we read as kids and read them as adults and ruin them. Everyone was making me laugh like a second before I started doing this.
I got
You're making yourself laugh, man.
I started making myself laugh, but then I saw everyone else laugh. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan Eaton. With me, as always, is Bekah Eaton.
Hello.
And Chris Zaleski.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Fine.
Cool.
I'm fine.
You
Oh,
keep
we got
asking.
I do keep asking, and I thought that,
We talked yesterday.
I'm fine. I mean it. I'm not lying.
She said she's
I'm fine. I got caught in the rain earlier, which was horrible. Then I came home, and then I was fine.
Okay.
As soon as I parked at home, it started downpouring, and I'm just like, well, I'm not even surprised anymore.
I was at the liquor store, and I could see the storm rolling in. Mm-hmm. And then right when I left was like fucking buckets of water. And there was nothing I could do because there's nowhere to even stand.
Yeah.
It's so tiny and narrow to get out. That was just like, I just have to go. And I have 2 hands full of stuff. I brought an umbrella, but I didn't have a hand for the umbrella. So I was like, guess I'm just walking.
Yeah.
And I was out there for maybe 7 seconds to get to my car. And I had water just dripping like off of my eyelashes.
It was like the biggest raindrops in the world.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna have
God.
to go outside again next week.
Yeah. It was like somebody poured a bucket of water over my head while I was holding a 12-pack and a bag full of gin.
Yeah.
Sounds like a commercial for something.
Outside's overrated.
Yeah. Anyway, who are our other guests?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. Joining us are our old friends, Joe and Brian.
Hi. Hello.
Director Joe, if you don't
Director
mind.
Joe.
Sorry.
Yeah,
we got
maybe
Brian
we should
with
just
us.
let her.
Director Joe and regular person Brian.
Let's
Joe.
just let her run the show because she's the director.
Joe Rector.
Joe Rector. I think the last time you guys were on was it Sweet Valley High? Or did you guys?
Yeah.
Yes, I remember twins.
Twins.
Oh, you guys didn't read any of Remember Me?
Mm-mm.
I couldn't remember if they did.
You would have had a blast with that one.
Yeah, that one was noof. That one had literal incest in it.
Yep.
Oh.
There's 18 episodes of that one.
It was really long, and we kept joking the entire time, like, haha, what if this was incest? And then, like,
But then the incest is with the 2 people you don't think will be incesting each other.
Yes.
You think it's
Yeah.
Wait,
Carrie and her brother, but it was
Yeah.
her brother and his secret sister.
Yeah, it was
The
a secret
one we-
sister.
So their attraction to each other was okay.
The one we read had like implications of incest.
Yeah.
Remember?
Well, that must have been Remember Me.
No,
Don't
that
they
was
all?
Sweet Valley
No.
Oh,
High.
Sweet Valley. Oh, I forgot.
Because
Yeah, they
She
were all
just
weird about
kept
their brother.
like talking
Yeah.
about how super sexy hot her brother was and stuff, and it was weird.
Yeah,
What,
we
do we
were
need to have
talking
like
about
an
that.
intervention for these authors?
I know.
Are you okay?
I don't think they are.
you?
I was explaining the concept of this show to my sister, and she was like, oh, you should read V.C. Andrews' Flowers in the Attic.
No. We will not be doing that.
No.
I made
That
that
is not fun.
I made that joke so long ago, like, should we read Flowers in the Attic? And you guys were like, no!
I think I legitimately snapped at you when you said that.
Yeah.
Then we'll read Anne Frank, and it'll be
Yeah, it'll be a romp.
The comedy classic of our time, The Diary of Anne Frank. And then we'll read Number the
today-
Stars.
Today we're starting a new book, and as we learned right before we started recording, it's something that Brian loves, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was like Brian's
is it,
inner
Brian?
child exploding.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so excited.
Let's do it now.
We're reading My Teacher is an Alien by Bruce Coville, and
Who was my favorite author when I was in elementary school.
yeah, this is a book that has been brought up a bunch of times by a bunch of our different guests and Chris. So we're finally reading it.
I've never read
I'm
it.
not
I don't think
familiar
I've
with
read
this
anything
at all.
It's okay,
Yeah.
I guess.
I haven't read anything by him, I don't think.
I definitely did read this, but I remember absolutely nothing about it.
Although Bruce Coville rings a bell.
I
Fun
think it
fact
was like
about
a-
myself.
It was
I
like a
never
whole
actually
series.
read this, despite him being my favorite author.
What
What?
the fuck,
Oh,
Chris?
well,
I was a
you're
big
not-
fan of his Space Brat series.
Not a great
Oh,
fan, are you?
I remember Space Brats.
I
That's
never
great.
read Space Brats. Who wants to describe what's going on in this cover? And I'm really happy it's this cover. This is the original 1989
He
cover.
wrote a book called Jeremy Thatcher Dragon Hatcher.
Well, on the cover we have Harry Potter down in one corner. Right, Brian.
Yeah. There's Harry Potter. There
Generic blonde
is.
girl.
Yeah, I
Generic
mean, what
blonde girl.
what looks like, like Beverly Hills, generic blonde in a pink sweater. And we have a window, to the inside of a classroom, and there stands a teacher, or an alien.
He's ripping his
pulling
face
his face
baby.
off, and underneath his face is a large, bumpy head. I don't know how the fuck that doesn't show through his fake face, but it does. It
the hair's
doesn't.
for.
It must
That's
not.
a good, yeah. It's a good point.
But
Also,
more
he-
surprisingly is the cursive alphabet above the blackboard behind him.
Oh, the kids won't know how to read that nowadays.
I don't know
think
how
it's
to read that
alien
nowadays.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. It is cursive.
Cursive uppercase Z. What the fuck happened with that? Can we talk about it?
Isn't
Looks
it
like
just
an
a Z with a line
astrological
through it?
symbol.
Imagine
It
how
looks
I
wild.
feel.
It's like that joke from, isn't it Billy Madison?
Madison.
When he's writing in cursive?
Naruto. Chris, what's the
I'm getting
tagline
like,
of this book?
I'm getting like flashbacks now because I had to learn the letter Z because it's my last fucking initial.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I did, yeah.
All right, so
That
the
is
tagline.
Cursive uppercase R is no joke either. It's like up and then like two curly Q's and then down again.
Cursive
at
uppercase
least
J
looks
is
like an
easy
R.
as shit.
Kind of. It looks like a curly R.
All right, so the tagline of this book.
Remember those slate, remember the slate chalkboards, and you'd have one at
Like
your
the
desk.
little
You'd
ones?
have the little board,
Yeah.
like your own personal chalkboard.
I do
Wait,
remember
did
that.
you go to school in 1832?
Yes,
I didn't have
did.
my own personal slate board.
You
Now, if
never
everyone
had
could pull
that?
out their slates.
I remember that.
Joe's
Really?
only a year younger than me, but I feel like technology progressed a lot in that 1 year that separates us.
I had iPads in 1997. I don't know what you're talking about.
I remember seeing like somebody took a picture from a book from like 100 years ago, where the author was complaining that like loose leaf paper was replacing slates, and that children were going to get lazy because they were moving from slates to loose leaf paper, and the person was just like, people have been bitching about technology for like 100 years, like
Yeah.
because it was
Yeah,
around
they
the
were-
time where they
they
were
were
like
right.
complaining about iPads.
Well, and it took
Right.
until like 1997 for them to be like, yeah, we should throw the slates in the trash.
We've had these for 100 years.
Yeah.
And now look at us.
Not bad,
Anyway.
it's just different. All right, so the tagline of the book
tagline.
is Susan and Peter's 6th grade class has been invaded. ...
Oh shit! Let's find out.
She
with
looks
what.
like a Susan, doesn't
Yeah,
she?
I wonder what it is they will be invaded by.
All right, so
Florence Crandall.
to my 6th
Aw.
grade teacher, Florence Crandall,
That sounds like a made-up name if I've ever heard one.
who told me to write the story. So did Florence Crandall tell a 6th grade Bruce Coville,
I hope so.
you should write that story about me being an alien, Bruce?
It's not even the story. It's just write a story.
Oh, write
It
a
was
story.
probably a class assignment. They
Anything.
probably all did, and he was like, "I'm gonna take this to heart, and this is
like,
my life
this is
now.
gonna be my yeah,
Great
joke's
advice.
This
on
is what
us.
I do now."
I like
He's
to think.
Sir Bruce Coville.
I
like to
believe this
think
is like
that-
his first big hit.
Well, I think it's his
Probably
first
was.
book. Like, I think this is literally what he wrote in 6th grade, and he was just like, you know what? It's time is now to publish this story.
What were you looking at? Go back.
The page before was just really weird.
Oh, what's it say?
Oh, it's probably just a thing that's like a little snippet
Like
of
a
the book.
snippet
Just
of the book.
ignore it.
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
formatted really
Preview.
weird.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like when
Look
you
what
watch a
you're
movie
in
trailer now,
for.
and it shows you like a 3-second supercut of the trailer you're about to watch.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, well, now I saw all the good parts. My teacher is an alien. Chapter 1. Missing one 6th grade teacher. Hey, geekoid! Yelled Duncan Dugan
We
as
are
he
off to the races.
Oh my god, I love this already.
Nice
as he
start.
snatched Peter Thompson's book out of his hand. Why do you read so much? Don't you know how to watch TV?
I'm triggered.
This guy's a monster.
Oh, man. I'm on his side already. Poor Peter.
Is it like for a class or something?
I could see that he wanted to grab the book back from Duncan, but I also knew that if he tried, Duncan would cream him.
Gross.
Gross. Jinx.
Joe Rector.
Joe Rector. Sometimes I wonder if Duncan's mother dropped him on his head when he was a baby, like Sloth. I mean, something must have... Okay, his voice is now Sloth. I mean, something must have made him decide to spend his life making other people miserable. Otherwise, why would he spend so much of his time picking on a kid like Peter Thompson? Peter never bothers anyone.
Wait, Peter's not the main character?
I know, I was just wondering who's narrating this. Maybe it's Susan.
Well, no, I don't
definitely
think it's
Peter.
first person.
Oh, is it just third person? Wait, no, it is first person. I
Someone's
can
saying
see.
I. Is it like a bystander, like Nick from Great Gatsby?
Surely that's the apropos parallel here.
The
That
great
was the
Peter Thompson.
inspiration. Great Gatsby.
Yes.
This book.
Or the great Duncan Dougal. We don't know.
Wait, I'm actually really confused. We need to get to the next page
lost.
because I even just started reading ahead because I'm like, I need to understand.
Don't read ahead.
I guess maybe.
No,
it's
I can't
Susan.
help it.
It
I
could
need
be
to know.
Susan.
Brian.
Brian, close your eyes.
Close your eyes, Brian. Listen to the dulcet tones of my voice. Peter never bothers anyone.
You guys should do one of those sleep podcasts.
You're feeling really tired.
Gilbert
ASMR.
Godfrey.
ASMR. Oh yeah.
Gilbert Godfrey puts you to bed. Volume 1.
You're getting sleepy. Peter
Now
never
count
bothers.
the sheep and go to bed.
Jesus Christ. Peter never bothers anyone. Heck, the only thing he really wants is to be left alone so he can read whatever book he has his nose stuck in at the moment, Chris.
Triggered.
Peter was at Red Brick that moment, reading about space aliens.
Or dragons.
Or dragons.
It's always one or the other.
That doesn't seem like too much to ask to me, but Duncan takes Peter's readings as a personal insult. So here it was, the first day back from spring vacations. Like, what? Spring break?
Break?
Spring vacation? Did you have spring?
Is this another?
Is this like Canadian or
writing,
something?
Yeah, writing some weird shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
we called it spring break.
We called it spring break, and also though, I feel like I actually never had spring break, like in
Really?
school. We had off
Not
for
in-
like
not in,
Easter
like-
for like a long weekend.
That's
but, like,
because
Kids school.
That's
I mean,
because
what
you
even...
had the slats, and that was how they paid for it.
what?
But
You had to skip
slats?
spring vacation.
The slats?
Never mind.
The
Slate?
slates,
The
Oh.
slats.
Oh,
the slats.
Talking
God.
about.
Help us.
You guys are in trouble today because I had a long day at work. And
He's from Syracuse.
brain no
Syracuse.
work good at the moment.
So it's an
Oh,
upstate New
God.
York thing.
Oh my god.
Spring
What?
I need
vacation.
everyone to see this picture of his face.
Holy shit! This is Bruce Coville. That grinning fucking mug.
He looks like Sean Connery.
Is that the guy from the
Yeah.
meme?
I've just written.
I don't usually write.
I've written a book on a slat.
My name is Bruce Coville, and
My teacher is an alien.
teacher told me to write a story.
He's from New York.
Yes, but this is how I choose to speak in New York.
Transatlantically.
Jesus Christ. I'm gonna save this picture and text it to you guys.
Now, what was
What
his
do we
What
author
I'm gonna
picture
do
when the
is
book
save
came
it,
out?
forget that I saved it,
And
find
then
it in my
look at-
phone,
yeah,
and
and then be
very
like,
confused.
what? Who's this man? Okay.
But
Spring
what
vacation.
was his author picture when the book came out?
I don't know.
That might be now.
We'll find out when we get to the end.
He was a sixth grader. Did you guys not read the praise?
It's a sixth grade school picture, though.
It's not complicated. This guy
I'm
wrote
going to
this
write
book
a
in sixth
story
grade.
about my
It's
teacher
like his
being an
wedding
alien.
picture on this website.
Is that a Abraham Lincoln beard?
Oh my god, it is.
Oh my god.
Ew, alright, we need to move past this and read the
Okay,
book,
I'm going to
but-
show you guys one more picture of Bruce Coville
from his wedding.
from his wedding.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wait. Oh, no. Oh, no.
But obviously he can't really grow a mustache. so he's-
day of my life.
It looks
What
like he
is
shaved it
that?
and then it grew back a little and he left it.
I'm off
Why shave it?
a play at Ford's Theater.
Oh, it looks like he.
Neck
It looks
beard.
like he cut off somebody's grundle and just sewed it to the bottom of his chin.
God.
Moving
Brian.
on.
Moving on. So, So here it was. We are on the first fucking page.
We're having a
So
good
here it
time.
was. The first day back from spring vacation. We hadn't even gone into the school yet, and I could tell by the look on Duncan Dougal's face that the spring fight season was about to begin.
Don't know what that
Fight
means either.
season.
I
Is
clutched
it like
my
the purge?
What the heck?
It's the purge.
I clutched my
It's
piccolo
fight
case
season.
to my chest.
Piccolo.
I clutched my piccolo case to my chest. It went, and I watched as Peter's pale face began to turn red. Peter blushed at almost anything. He was tall and thin and wore thick glasses, like Harry Potter.
I was
And he
going to say,
the
this is Harry Potter.
And he was the smartest person I had ever met. Not like Harry Potter, actually. Grown-ups included. The problem was, it was all book smarts. Peter had absolutely no idea how to deal with a creep like Duncan. Actually, neither did I. If I did, I would have stopped him. But the one time I had tried to come between Duncan and Peter, I ended up with a black eye myself.
Okay, I hope it's not
I hope
Susan.
it's not Susan.
It
This
is.
is already the best written thing we've ever
What
read.
the fuck? Am I still just reading one half
No,
of this?
you
or
read the whole thing.
thing?
It's a.
Oh,
I feel like it's a weird Kindle thing, so.
okay. Oh my god, it is Susan. Duncan claimed it was an accident, of course. Susan just jumped right in front of my fist, he said, as if I was the one who had done something wrong.
Oh,
It's a
no.
girl narrating.
Uh-oh.
To tell you the truth, I think Duncan punched me on purpose. You fucking think so, Susan? Most guys wouldn't hit a girl. But Duncan doesn't mind.
I did slap Christine that time.
Well, she was going to break your finger.
She had it
I think
coming.
even Christine admits that was...
She was the first one to
Alright.
admit
Who'd you
Yeah.
slap?
that my friend Christine.
She was on one of the Sweet Valley episodes.
She was really drunk and trying to make me play a drinking game, and she grabbed my pinky and started bending it backwards so much so I thought it was gonna snap. So I slapped her in the face.
She's our
my
expert on the
gosh.
SVU.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this where you get canceled, John?
No, we've been through this so many times.
You didn't have to bring it up again.
She was asking
But
for
you
it,
did.
is
The
what
book
John's trying to
brought it
say.
But Duncan doesn't mind.
I
It
ain't no
was his
Duncan
way
Dougal.
of warning me to keep my nose out of his business. As I watched Duncan squinting down at Peter, it occurred to me that 6th grade can be a dangerous place if you don't watch out. Stacy, oh wait,
It is Canada.
oh wait,
Stacy Benoit.
Stacy Benoit was standing a few feet away from Peter. Okay, so there's a Susan and a Stacy. I
Oh,
already
shit.
got confused. This isn't gonna go.
I know what Stacey Benoit's voice is.
Do you guys have your Canadian accents on standby? Because
I have my
Yeah,
French
mine's
accent
ready.
on standby.
your friend.
Okay,
Okay, French
close
is fine.
enough.
Stacey Benoit.
Stacy Benoit.
Was standing a few feet away from Peter, pressed against the school wall and looking nervous. Stacy is this incredibly good kid who never gets in trouble ever. She hates fights even more than I do. She had just started edging her way toward me when Duncan ran his foot through a puddle and splashed dirty water all over Peter's jeans.
Aw.
Cut it out, Duncan, said Peter. Cut it out, Duncan, mimicked Duncan.
Brilliant.
In a whiny
Brilliant.
sing-song voice.
Get
Good,
him.
good one, Duncan.
Anyone who knew Duncan could see he was gearing up for a fight. But it wasn't necessarily going to be with Peter, since Peter usually just took whatever Duncan dished out. I figured
Peter.
Duncan was using him as a warm-up.
Oh, Peter.
So I was a little surprised when he tossed Peter's book into the puddle.
What?
Even Duncan should have known that was something you just don't do to Peter. Oops, he said maliciously. I dropped it. I heard Stacy gasp as Peter launched himself off the wall and bashed his head into Duncan's stomach.
Jesus.
Just
Wait,
headbutted
what?
him?
Just like
Peter launched off a wall and headbutted Duncan in the stomach.
ramming
Good-
speed.
It's a good move when you're fighting someone bigger than you. Just ask
I
my
would have
brother.
thought Stacy
Skull as
Benoit would have
weapon.
done the flying headbutt, but that's just me who watched too much wrestling. I guess.
Wrestling jokes. Wrestling
Nerd.
jokes.
Within seconds, the two of them were rolling around on the ground. I hate when this happens, said Stacy as the boys surrounded Peter and Duncan in a shouting, cheering circle. Oh, there's a drawing.
There's a picture.
That's illustrated.
The fight hadn't gone on more than 10 seconds when a tall, blond man came pushing through the crowd. Without saying anything, he grabbed the two fighters and hauled them to their feet. Wow, I thought when I saw him lift the two of them right off the ground. That guy is really strong, like an alien. Stop, he
Spoilers.
said. Then he gave them each a shake and set them back
He
down on
kind of
their
looks
feet.
like a young Carrie Elwes.
I was going to say Carrie Elwes.
Oh my god, that's what it is.
I'm
It's
glad
Carrie
it wasn't just
Elwes.
me.
Holy
No,
shit.
yeah, I was going to
That's canon.
suggest that we all
That's
pictured
canon.
it
That
as
is
Carrie
canon,
Elwes.
yeah.
That's it. Okay.
Peter started it, said Duncan. He's such a creep, he probably didn't even know he was lying. Peter wiped the back of his hand across his mouth. I did not, he said sullenly. I could see that his hand was trembling. No more, said the tall man, as if he really didn't care who started it.
Sounds really
Do you understand, humans? Yes, sir, mumbled Peter. I wanted to shake him. I wanted to shake him.
He
The
was already
teacher made it seem
shaking.
so
So
fun.
much shaking.
The teacher already shook him.
He made it sound as if the whole thing had been his fault. Do you understand? Said the tall man, looking directly at Duncan. Sure, said Duncan. I got it. Good, said the tall man. Then he turned on his heel and marched back into the school. Like an alien. Duncan made a face at the man's back, then wandered off to find someone else to pick on. Who was that? Asked Peter as I handed him his soggy book. Who knows? I never saw him before. He's probably a new sub. Come on, let's go inside. Peter and I were usually the first ones into school, but not by much. Our whole class went in early. Now one of you.
Oh, whose turn is it?
Go ahead, Joanna.
Me?
Fight for it.
Yeah,
Fight.
I go
Right,
after
fight.
Chris.
Fight.
Slap me.
I'll not do it.
That's our whole class went early. Nope. Nailed it.
That's okay. Jonathan fucked up his first chapter. Usually
We
it
are
takes him
in
two.
for a
Oh, I'm
night.
gonna fuck up more. Don't worry.
Our whole class went in early. That's because our teacher, Ms. Marie Schwartz, was so totally great.
She's French. Too.
I saw Marie and I thought it was going to be French, but it wasn't. That's how little I read ahead. I didn't even see the last name.
Schwartz.
Schwartz.
As opposite French as you can get, German.
Yeah, it was really not.
Our Franco-German teacher.
French Balmer accent.
Ms. Marie Schwartz was so totally great. The thing I liked best about having her was that she was the only teacher in Kennetuck Falls Elementary who always did a play with her class. I've always wanted to be an actress when I grow up, but until 6th grade, I never had a chance to find out what it was like to be on stage. The play would be our last major project, and we had planned to start rehearsals right after spring vacation, which is a thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Unfortunately, when we got to our room, Mrs. Schwartz was nowhere to be seen.
Ms.
Ms.
Oh, it
Oh,
is Miss.
God.
No,
That's
Mr.
fucking so heteronormative of me to assume that she's married. Jesus fucking. The tall blonde man was standing beside her desk talking to a short, red-faced man who had almost no hair. Our school principal, Dr. Bleekman.
Now that's an alien name if I ever heard one.
That is absolutely.
I'm Dr. Bleakman.
Bleakman from the planet Bleak.
Where was Mrs. Schwartz? Peter and I went to our desks. I wasn't happy. I had a bad feeling about this whole thing. The sub is handsome, whispered Stacy, who had come in behind us.
Yeah, he looks like Carrie Elwes.
Looks like
Yeah.
fucking
When he was
Carrie
young.
Elwes, and he's an alien.
He only has one foot, though.
What?
Oh, saw joke. Saw
Oh.
joke.
Nah.
This is pre-Saw Carrie.
Pre-saw.
Oh.
He's not
Not
pre-saw
laughing
yet.
Because it was a good joke. I'm laughing just because how unabashedly stupid it was.
Yeah.
AKA good.
Welcome to
Welcome to Brian.
Brian. I suppose so. I said grudgingly, whoa, crack that Bud Light. Where do you suppose Mrs. Schwartz is? Stacy shrugged. Maybe she's sick, or maybe her plane didn't make it. Oh, maybe her plane didn't make it back on time. I don't know why I thought that was going somewhere dark. Maybe her plane didn't make it.
Maybe
it's
her
a
plane
weird
didn't
thing
make
to
it.
know when you're
Yeah, when you're in
fucking
sixth grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened to my 3rd grade teacher once.
Back from what?
I nodded. That was okay. It was disappointing to come back to someone besides Mrs. Schwartz, but I could cope with it for a day or two.
Ms.
Ms. Schwartz.
Ms.
Get it together.
God, be respectful.
Director of the patriarchy over here.
Seriously, God. I'm disappointed in myself. The other kids came into the room because Dr. Bleakman was there. What do you think his doctorate is in?
Education.
Bleak.
Education.
Space
Bleakness.
travel.
Yeah. He's a doctor is in bleak.
Aerospace. Fucking whatever. What do they do at NASA?
Spaceships.
Yeah, aerospace
Spaceship.
fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Principalology.
Because Dr. Bleakman was there, everyone was super quiet. The bell rang and we took our places. Good morning, class, said Dr. Bleakman. Should I have done a stupid voice for Dr.
Yeah, come on.
Probably.
That was like
Yeah.
probably
Good
the
morning,
best.
class. I don't know
Her
who's the
affection.
alien, so that's my alien voice.
Oh, this
I'm
is
doing
it.
for
That's
everyone.
why it's going to be a twist later
I
on.
don't know.
I love it.
I want to introduce Mr. John Smith. Mr.
John
Smith will be
Smith.
your teacher for the rest of the year. The rest of the year? I couldn't believe my ears. What happened? It's like a slant rhyme. What happened to Mrs. Miss?
Oh,
Mrs.
I was even like cueing you with the hand
What?
signal.
I know you built it up too much. What happened to Mrs. Schwartz?
So is
Without
he like part
intending
insect
to.
now?
Mrs.
Mrs.
Without intending to,
boy.
I asked the question out loud.
But you.
Oh shit!
What?
Whoa,
Chapter 2.
cliffhanger.
All right, I'm done my page.
Oh, I love when chapters have titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chapter 2. Note of Doom.
Awesome.
Dr. Bleakman glared at me. Susan, if you have something to say, I expect you to raise your hand. Well, excuse me, I thought.
I'm just
But there
a wild and crazy girl.
I'm a sassy little bitch.
And she did wag her finger, although they didn't actually write that, but it happened.
It's implied.
But there was no sense in making things worse than they already were, so I raised my hand. When Dr. Bleakman pointed at me, I said as politely as I could, "What happened to Ms. Schwartz?" "That is a private matter," replied Dr. Bleakman.
I probed her.
What's that supposed to mean? Was she pregnant? Did she have some horrible disease? Did she get fired? And whatever it was, why hadn't she warned us? Why hadn't
would
she
she?
said goodbye?
Why would?
When she warned us about her disaster.
Spoiler alert.
Dear
teachers
class,
don't really care
my
about
husband had sex with me last night. In 9 months, I might be gone.
You. I am ovulating.
Do you
All
know
right,
what
class,
sex
I'm
is?
going on a trip over spring vacation, and my plane will probably crash. So
Brian,
Blake
she
will
doesn't
probably
have.
prepared
not
for that.
make it.
She doesn't have a husband, Brian.
And then I'll
Ms.
spend the
Ms.
next 9 months. Oh, you're right.
Oh,
Boyfriend.
maybe she
Ms.
does, and she just doesn't choose to disclose.
Or she doesn't need a husband to be pregnant.
Or wife.
It's true. It does happen
Yeah.
occasionally. Without thinking about what
Every once in a while.
I thought the stork only delivered to married couples.
Oh, Chris, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Chris.
Let's not talk about Santa either.
Wait,
Without, well, Santa.
You'll find out when you're old enough.
We'll tell you when you're older.
Santa is married. Without thinking about what I was doing, I stood up and said, "I want to know where she is."
Oh,
Damn,
shit.
Susan.
Dr. Bleakman looked at me in surprise. His cheeks got redder. "Do you know the meaning of the word private, Miss Simmons?" he asked. "Yes, sir," I said quietly and slipped back into my seat. While I sat there fuming, Dr. Bleakman blathered on about how much he expected us to behave for our new teacher. Then he turned us over to Mr. Smith and left the room. As I watched him go, I wondered if Dr. Bleakman had secretly fired Ms. Schwartz. I had always suspected he didn't like her, mostly because she didn't do things by the book.
That's
Quote,
pretty
unquote.
observant for a
Sixth grader, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I never, ever would have paid that much attention to the teachers
Yeah.
and their relationships
How
with
would
each
you
other.
even, when would you even have
Oh.
occasion to, like, see them interact?
How many
Right.
sixth graders do you know that narrate a novella?
Oh, shit. That's a good point, Chris. Yeah.
I think 0.
Or play the
Yeah,
piccolo.
0. Definitely 0. Yeah, definitely 0 piccolo players.
I've never seen a piccolo.
It's just like a tiny flute,
It's a
right?
tiny flute. It's just like...
Thank you for
One more?
that.
One more? I've almost
Can
got
we-
it.
Sample
Oh.
it, loop it in the background for the entire duration of the podcast.
That's your new theme song for this podcast.
Yeah.
That is the note of doom that you're singing.
Oh, shit. That's the note of
Singing the
doom.
note of doom. All right.
I had heard them arguing about it once when I came back to school to get some papers I had left behind. Ms. Schwartz, I must ask you to show more respect for the curriculum.
Are
Dr.
they doing Common
Bleakman
Core then?
had been saying when I
This was
walked into the room.
1989.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, I'm not doing Common Core, we're doing long division, buddy.
She was trying to teach critical race theory.
She was trying to. Yeah, Bleakman
On
is
slates.
definitely GOP +1 Bleakman. I mean, come on. Just the name alone. The name alone is like a
He's a step away from
note
being a
of
senator.
doom.
Bruce Coville, ahead of his time.
Boy, did that set Miss Schwartz off. I think Miss Schwartz has like a deep German accent, so
Do it. Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
Boy.
I believe in you.
Wait, let's see. What's German? I feel like I'm gonna do Russian by accident.
Think of like
Do-
Frau
do
Blucher
Arnold.
from
like Arnold, right?
Arnold,
Frau
yeah,
who?
from Young Frankenstein. Cloris
Can't you
Leachman.
respect? So, you see, that went Russian like real
Yeah.
fast. Hold on, I work with a guy.
Oh boy.
I work with a guy
Go
who
on.
is German, and I swear to God, this guy he goes from like a little bit of Arnold to like full blown Arnold over the course of like a phone call. And if you put him on like speakerphone, he just gets louder and louder and louder.
Oh my God,
So,
please record him.
Yeah, I know.
want
I
to
need
hear
to hear
that
this.
so
I
badly.
have recordings because I did it because
Send it.
I wanted Joanna to see it, but he'll start and he'll be like, I am in the cooling pump room and there is no coolant, but
Oh my
I
God.
cannot turn on the light. The lights are not working. The lights are gone.
Use that for like an action movie.
And it's like,
Dub that over so
Mike,
Yeah.
Mike,
Holy
there's
shit.
an occupancy
God.
sensor. Just hit the switch,
His
man.
name's
He's like,
Mike.
okay, Mikael,
Yeah.
Mikael.
Okay.
Mike.
Thank you.
Can't you
Yeah, I
respect
am Mike.
the fact that the kids are learning?
Do Christoph
She
Waltz.
asked angrily.
just to start off with delicious milk, and then go from there.
Delicious milk. Can't you respect the delicious milk and the fact that the kids
that's
are
okay.
learning? She grabbed the
He sounds Swedish.
Yeah.
Swedish.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that far away. They took over the whole area at one point.
Just
Right.
do
The
Mikael
German's
again.
not this sweet.
Mikael.
She grabbed the
Sides of her head in
in
frustration. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, thank you. Clumps of her frizzy black hair stuck out between her fingers. Listen, Horace. The kids will get more out of 6 weeks of doing a play than 6 months of dittos and workbooks.
Remember dittos? I forgot
Wait,
that
what were
word.
dittos?
Oh my god.
Just-
I haven't
It's
heard
just
that
like a
word in
Paper
that context.
Basically.
Ditto.
Yeah.
Oh, they called them
That's what they were
dittos because
called.
they were
It's like a
'cause they-
photocopy.
It was it wasn't a photocopy. It was
like
like
a photostat or something.
it was like the process they used to
That
copy
purple
them was
stuff?
that was like it was called ditto was short for whatever the
Yeah.
process was called, and that's why they called them dittos.
Dictography.
Wow, we're old. Wow, oof, boy.
Do
Okay.
you do you
I
guys
feel
remember
sorry for any
overhead
kids
projectors?
that are not listening to this.
Yeah.
I hope that exclusively kids listen to this podcast.
What
What do
did you
you
say,
mean?
Brian?
I thought this had a really big demo of like younger kids. That's why
Gen
I agreed
X,
to come
Gen
on this
Z,
podcast.
God.
They'd probably think this was such a retro throwback.
Oh yeah, they would. They'd be like, they would Google ditto and be like,
Yeah.
so old,
What
man.
is that? Wait.
Suddenly-
So his name is Horace
Horace
Bleakman.
Bleakman.
Horace Bleakman.
Cool.
Suddenly I wondered if having Mr. Smith meant that we wouldn't be doing our play. I began waving my hand in the air again.
She's such a Hermione.
She's a Hermione. Yes, Miss Simmons, asked Mr. Smith. Miss Simmons again. Fuck. We were going to have to talk like that for the rest of the year. Are we still going to do our play? I asked.
She's Hermione now.
Oliver Twist?
She's Hermione. Was that?
Because you said Hermione, and I was like,
not what
I
you
know.
Love that that's
And you
Hermione.
thought
is the-
Oliver Twist.
This is going to be the
Well,
most.
no, I didn't think Oliver Twist. I just thought British Child. We watch a lot of like Bake Off and Pottery Throwdown, like the British competition shows, and every once in a while, like their kids will send a message, and British children are the fucking funniest things to listen to because they're always
Oh
like,
my God, they're amazing.
like, I want you to do well in the competition, Papa. Like they don't sound real. It sounds
they
like.
Daddy, can I have another biscuit, please?
I like
Mummy.
it when my
Ouch.
mummy makes the pots. Like
Charlie
Jesus Christ.
bit my finger.
Yeah, exactly. Charlie bit my
Charlie.
finger.
Ouch,
Anyway.
Charlie.
I tried to do child British because of Hermione.
It's
and that's what happened.
Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Oh yeah, it's
There you
got
go.
so
It's a little
Hermione
more highbrow
really is
than
like
what you did.
highbrow,
Bitchy.
Yeah,
like
she is.
bitchy highbrow,
Well,
older,
it's compensating
compensating. Okay,
for being a
Ron,
mudblood, right?
you're
okay, hang on.
such
now.
a
I can do this again. I can do this again.
Dick.
All right. Are we still going to do our play? I asked. Is that better? Is that
Perfect.
more
Yes.
Hermione?
100%.
Perfect.
You
Are we
did-
still going to
Nailed
do our
it.
you did
play?
great.
Are we still going to do our play? I asked. Mr. Smith lifted one blonde eyebrow in astonishment. Play? He asked.
You have to do Carrie Ellis.
That's real hard.
Fuck this
Like
Carrie
Princess
Ellis.
Bride. Sounds British.
Sound more
No,
nervous.
Of course, we're not going to do a play.
Play.
Sound like
Oh,
Leslie.
that was pretty good, Chris.
We're here
We're
to
here
work.
As you
Jesus
wish.
Christ. Of course we're not. Of course we're
Man,
not going to
Chris
do a
and I
play.
just crossed paths on
We're
like the
here
soul
to
spectrum.
We're on the same wavelength,
We're
brother.
here. So it's like low. We're here to work. I sank back in my seat. 6th grade was going bad faster than a dead fish on a hot day, as everyone says. I could hear the other kids start to murmur their protests.
I don't want to.
I would have been so fucking relieved. A play would have been my absolute nightmare. Like, bring on the dittos. Bring on the
God.
not want to be
Dittos.
on a stage.
Give me something
Bring
to
me
write
my
and
slate
read.
and chalk.
The slats, bring them.
Bring the slats.
Mr. Smith slapped his ruler against the desk. Slap!
Ah,
Dr. Bleakman hired me to straighten this class out. I can see now that what he told me about you was correct. Things have gotten completely out of control in this room. Actually, that was only half true. Our room wasn't out of control. It just wasn't under Dr. Bleakman's thumb. Since most of us had already spent 5 years in rooms where the teachers did things Dr. Bleakman's way, we knew very well what he wanted a room to be like. No question about it. Ms. Schwartz's room didn't fit the bill. But as
Question
far
real quick.
Go ahead.
6th grade?
Yeah.
All right. So you're like 10 or 11. And the last 5
Yeah,
years
11,
you
yeah.
were like 5 to 10.
Yeah.
All right. Just clear
Huh.
that up.
yeah.
She
Also,
is
I'm
Really,
assuming
we're
this
really-
was back when 6 was a part of elementary school.
But she's
Right.
also
It
never was
Hermione.
for me.
Is it
It
not?
was middle
not?
school for
Well,
me.
no,
Yeah.
like way back in the day, like K to 6 was elementary.
This was,
7 to
this
9
was 1989.
was middle school.
89.
This was 89.
I guess it
so
depends. Like, yeah, I was in
Me
basically.
me and Chris were born in 86.
Yeah.
And
Whoop, whoop.
middle school was
Babbies.
6 to 8 for me.
I didn't have like they didn't
Same.
really differentiate middle school for me. It was just like
Oh
grade.
yeah,
it was
you
just
had
grade
school, which I never really
It
understood
was just
that
K
concept.
through 8 was grade school.
Yeah, it might be more of
weird.
like an area thing than a time
What
frame
did they do in
thing.
Syracuse in 1989?
Yeah.
I don't know.
God knows,
cares?
but they had spring vacation.
Let's stop the podcast and look it up.
I'm just saying.
But also-
she's an old soul.
She's a
No one's that
100%.
perceptive. You're a child.
She's a Hermione for sure.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah,
learn
yeah.
things
100%.
in those years.
No.
She's
No.
a Ravenclaw.
Excuse
Ms.
me.
Schwartz's room didn't fit the bill, but as far as we were concerned, things were going just fine. And not just because we were having a good time. We were also learning more than we ever had before. My father claimed that we were learning and having a good time for the same reason. Miss Schwartz knew how to make things interesting. I said Ms.
You said Miss.
I said Ms. For example.
Gotta hit that Z.
For example, on the first day of school, Ms. Schwartz
It's the hardest
stood
name to say in the
at the
world.
front of the room and held up the 6th grade reading book, Rockets and Flags, popularly known as Rodents and Fleas.
Oh, good one. Get them
Rock,
roasted.
rock, flag, and eagle.
Oh my god, she's gonna be like a
like a
Robin Williams.
Robin
and
like
Williams.
a yes,
yeah.
yes,
Yep.
yes, Dead Poet Society. I couldn't think of his
Carpe diem.
I couldn't think of his character.
Becca, we're on the same wavelength, brother.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
Oh,
my new
Captain,
catchphrase.
my
Quick anecdote.
alien.
I had never seen Dead Poet Society until like a year or two ago. Like never ever. And I
I've never
knew
seen
almost
it.
nothing about it other than kids stand on desks.
Yep.
It had been a while
Same.
since I saw
It
it.
had been a while since Becca
And
had
I
seen it.
thought this movie is very heartwarming.
Yep, she did.
They all love their teacher.
Heartwarming.
They read a lot of poetry.
Yeah.
It's very heartwarming.
Super
Let's
heartwarming.
watch
Hey,
this
don't wait. Hold
heartwarming
on.
movie.
Let's watch.
Don't
Let's
Joe,
spoil
no,
it.
don't
Don't
even. We're not
spoil
even
it.
gonna talk anymore. Joe had to watch this movie knowing that this is what I said to Jonathan.
Okay.
All right.
Wait,
We're
what?
gonna move on.
Joe hasn't seen
Joe
it?
hasn't
No,
seen
no,
it.
she
No, I
hasn't
haven't seen it.
We
No.
actually just talked about
That ruins my
Listen,
anecdote. All right.
I don't
that's fine.
expect people to not spoil things when they're like over a decade old.
Just
It's
think
my
of
fault
the
that I
title.
haven't seen it.
Well,
We're gonna watch it. Don't spoil it.
watch it.
We'll do another
And
podcast
no,
and talk
yeah.
about it.
Jonathan
Save your
specifically
joke.
asked me, and I assured him, yes, this is a feel-good movie. Because I forgot what happened in it. I was
Did you
just
do-
like, they read poetry in a cave, and everyone's
heartwarming.
happy, and Robin Williams is cool, and
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah,
And House's
and then you went
sidekick
for
is
the
in it.
you went with the double feature for Schindler's List. To,
Dude, you just turned it off halfway. Like
We
the
watched
friends,
Dead Poet
the
Society
friends
and
where
then
Phoebe
Requiem for a
thinks
Dream
that-
because it was really art house.
I was about to say Requiem for a Dream.
Ash to Ash.
I also kind of ruined Life is Beautiful for you.
Oh, but that's fine. I was never gonna watch that.
Well, yeah, but you were like, it's a really nice movie, right?
Because I watched
it?
the
Because
like, first half of it in school and I never watched the end.
yeah.
Oh my God,
And then I
that's
showed
so
John
funny.
the end.
She
That's
showed me the end
hilarious.
and I was in literal shock. I watched the end of the movie. I was like, is this not like a joke that
Wait.
that someone made for YouTube? That's how that movie ends.
Oh my
you-
god.
That was
Have
fucking
you seen Life is
crazy.
Beautiful?
What's Life is Beautiful?
Oh, I don't think she's
The
seen that
Italian-
A little Italian guy.
Real.
in
World
the
War
concentration camp.
It's a really, really fun, happy movie about the Holocaust.
Wait, is it with like? Wait, am I
I can't
thinking
remember
of?
his name, but he's a
Oh,
famous
it's
Italian
the
comic.
like peppy Italian fellow.
Yeah. the
Hey,
happy
it's
Italian
me.
guy.
Look at me. I'm an
Roberto
Italian.
Benigni.
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah.
Roberto
Dai la chiave.
Benigni. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ebony
He was in
Panini.
Son of the Pink Panther.
Okay.
Anyway, now that that's covered.
Okay.
So sorry.
Rockets and Flags, popularly known as Rodents and Fleas.
Rockets and Flags.
I
This-
hope we don't have to say the name of that book frequently because that's
do.
going
I
to be a
hope not.
slip.
I absolutely do.
This, she said, is not a good book. She held it away from her with 2 fingers like a soggy tissue and dropped it into the bottom drawer of her desk. I know a better one, she said. In fact, I know hundreds. Then she pulled a huge
Wow.
cardboard box from under her desk and started passing around stacks of paperback novels for us to choose from. We spent the rest of the year reading real books. Sometimes we all read the same one, sometimes we all read something different. I remember mornings when we spent the entire reading period arguing about what some characters should have done. Kids who had never liked reading before were really getting into it. Okay, I was making fun of this, but that sounds fucking amazing. I love that. Unfortunately, Mr. Smith didn't believe in that kind of thing. In fact, the first thing he did after taking attendance that morning was pass out copies of Rockets and
Rockets
Flags.
and Flags.
Rockets and Flags.
I don't understand what Rockets and Flags could even be.
I'm guessing
I-
it's just some,
I mean,
like,
this seems like an
patriotic
English
bullshit.
class, so it's an English class where you only read about, like, jingoism?
Yeah, probably.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about Manifest Destiny.
Did we get a location for this? I don't remember.
Yeah,
it Louisiana?
Knitsville or whatever. it said.
Louisiana, though, wasn't it?
No.
Did I imagine that? Hold on,
No,
go back.
Brian.
You just want to do a Louisiana accent, don't you?
Well, no, I want to know how. I would just want to know how racist they all are.
Kennatuck Falls Elementary.
Oh yeah,
Kennatuck
no, that
Falls.
wasn't a place. That's
I'm gonna say upstate New York.
I'm only guessing upstate New York because that's
where
he's
the
from.
author's from.
Such an appropriate fake town name.
Kennatuck Falls.
He just combined two southern
Life
states.
sure was quiet in Kennatuck Falls before Mr. Smith came to town. With his UFO.
Ms. That is hard to say. I'm sorry I gave you all shit about it.
It's really
Schwartz. Sure. It's like the Z to the S to the Ch is impossible.
Z to the S to the Ch.
That's the name of my first rap album.
Well, she always read out loud to us, sometimes twice a day. She read wonderful books like The Hobbit and The Sword and the Stone.
Do you think she turned her chair around and sat on it backwards?
Absolutely.
She had to have.
I hope
She's
so.
like,
That would be
listen
awesome.
up, kids.
She's reminding me of the religion
Let's
teacher
rap.
I had in high school who legitimately wanted to show us Kevin Smith's Dogma, and the school would not let her do it.
Oh, man.
But
That
she
would've
was
been
like,
cool.
I love this movie,
Well-
and you guys should watch it.
Yeah.
Do you think she
Shit
Sharon
demon.
stoned them when she did the chair backwards?
God.
You mean Michelle
God.
Pfeiffer? Oh, no, sorry.
No,
Sharon Stone.
Wait, who are you? What are you thinking?
Well, I'm
Chris?
thinking of Michelle Pfeiffer in Dangerous Minds, where she
Wrong
reached
vagina.
the kids of the urban area through Shakespeare.
Oh yeah, no,
By
different.
conveying
That was
the
way
original
Brian was
rapper.
talking about
Curvy.
vaginas.
Brian was
I was
talking
talking
about
Yeah.
about.
Well,
Straight-
that just sums us up as people.
Yeah.
Chris is talking about
Chris is
Shakespeare,
always
and Brian's talking about
optimistic
pussies.
Beavers.
Gross.
Beavers.
Oh, I'm sorry, beavers.
Let's be PC now.
This is a family podcast.
Let's be PC.
Obviously.
They're called beavers.
Oh my God.
I'm just flashing back to, I forget what exact movie it was, but it was one of the Leslie Frazier movies. That's his name, right?
No,
Smoking gun.
you're thinking of
Nielsen?
Leslie
Smoking gun.
Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen,
He goes,
sorry.
nice
Leslie
beaver.
Frazier?
Oh, nice,
Nice
beaver.
beaver.
She goes, oh,
Thanks, I
thank you.
just
And
had
she
it
hands
stuffed.
it. Yeah, she
And then
hands
it's an
out a stuffed
actual,
beaver.
like, stuffed beaver.
Naked
Yeah.
gun. Sorry.
Naked
Okay,
gun.
go on.
I watched that when I was a kid, and I didn't think it was funny, but it's probably because I didn't fucking understand anything that was happening.
Well,
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
just watching fucking Friends, and they had a joke about what was the joke about going down?
Oh,
Down
You
in
didn't
the
get it?
elevator.
Oh, Monica was like doing the stock market stuff.
Right.
And she was like, it's my motto. You got to get up before you go down.
And Joey said that is not my motto. We
Yes,
laughed
Joey,
really
yeah.
hard. We were like, we did not get that as kids.
Yeah.
amazing.
That's funny. Seven? Anyway.
When someone asked Mr. Smith if he was going to read out loud, he gave him a funny look and said it was a waste of time. Well, you get the picture. Over the next few weeks, Mr. Smith straightened us out all right.
Time jump.
But you, yeah. You know how boring a straight line is.
Oh, it jumped ahead of all the shit we were talking during.
Huh?
What?
Well, we
Yes.
talked a lot just now.
Yep.
Everything that happened while we were talking, the book just
Was
jumped
the
ahead.
next few weeks.
We missed
Well,
something
it jumped
crucial.
ahead while I was... No, it only just jumped ahead.
Well, I was making a joke that we talked for so long that the
it doesn't
book
matter.
decided
Okay.
not to cover
It doesn't
anything
matter.
that
Uh,
It's
happened
getting
while we were
funnier the
I
more
also-
you have to
Indeed.
explain
Yeah, I
it.
definitely didn't get it at first, but I got it now, and it was.
I just
want to
be done reading so I can stop looking at it. Let
The
me
best-
finish.
Let her
The
finish
best-
her page.
The best jokes are the ones you explain for 5 minutes after.
We pretty much stopped laughing in school. Things weren't terrible, just awfully grim. Didn't he only teach one fucking class?
Yeah.
Even the playground wasn't so much fun as it had been.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Mr. Smith did keep Duncan Dougal from beating kids up, but he
That's
almost
good.
went nuts the first time he caught one of us playing a radio.
What the
Radios
fuck?
and tape players were banned from the playground.
I bet they mess with his alien ears.
Yep, exactly.
That's funny. We didn't even have like radios and shit.
Oh yeah. No,
At
if
my
I had a
school.
radio, they'd be like, "God doesn't like it." And they would
Well,
take
You're
it
a
away.
drug dealer.
Well, we have very different school
That's the devil's
experiences, and
box.
even in my school, I don't think you could have had a fucking radio.
Yeah.
Mr. Smith didn't just hate rock music, he hated all music. I could see him shiver every time I picked up my piccolo and left the room for my music lesson. Okay, so
What a great sentence.
I'd also like to point out that when you're reading on Kindle, you can see when other people have highlighted a section, and multiple people have highlighted that last sentence
That's awesome.
about music and the piccolo.
and the piccolo.
That's one of my
amazing.
favorite things about Kindle.
I hate it because it makes my eyes automatically start to read ahead. I'm like, no, I don't want to read
know
it
what the
yet.
cool thing is.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
So
Well,
this
that
is
just
like
displays a lack of
Not the
self-control.
piccolo.
Well,
this is the Footloose,
yes,
the Footloose
obviously.
town.
The Footloose town.
Is that where this is set?
After the third week of this, I said something about it to my music teacher, Mr. Bam Boom Bamwick.
Get the
Wait,
fuck
listen,
out.
wait.
Right
Actually,
A while
Actually.
to process this news.
now. Oh shit.
actually, his first name is Milton,
Okay.
like my great uncle. But everyone calls him Bam Boom because of his preference for thundering marches.
Yeah, you know.
Again,
like a
they're 10
human
years
would do.
old.
Oh,
Mr.
Bam
Bamwick
Boom.
sighed.
Don't you mean Bam Boom Bamwick?
Susan, you have to understand that not everyone appreciates the finer things in life, he said. I guess that was as much support as I could expect. You know how teachers stick together. When I got back to the room that day, it was time for our math test. I finished the test early. I was still feeling cranky about Mr. Smith's reaction to my piccolo, so I decided to write a note about it to Stacy. Mr. Smith is a total creepazoid, I wrote. That felt so good, I decided to keep going. He has
God.
totally ruined this class. Our whole year has gone down the tubes. The man is a total Philistine.
Oh,
Philistine
has
was
been
a
reading.
word I had just learned from my father. It means someone who has no appreciation for art and beauty.
By just learned, do you mean like within the last week?
Probably.
Her father's
Oh, you're talking about Susan.
probably so
I thought you meant
pretentious.
you.
Yeah, no, I was just reading what it said.
He was just reading the book.
Bekah is trolling the shit out of you right now, Chris.
My brain is just bad.
I
Apparently.
very often get pages that sound like I'm improvising and I'm not.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
and
the,
I'm also very
Bam
gullible.
Boom Bamwick.
yeah.
So if somebody says something, I assume they mean it. Or
You
I
assume
didn't
it's
even
there.
understand you were doing Susan.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stop talking for a while.
I thought
I'll
it
be
was
over here quietly. I'll be
Don't
over here
stop.
quietly. Go on.
Don't you
I
stop
thought it was
talking.
a neat word,
Keep
and I was
fucking with
using it every
Chris.
chance I could get.
Oh boy, that's
A
fun.
few more sentences, and I was really wound up. This note was turning into a humdinger.
another word that 6th grade girls
my
say.
God.
Bam Boom Humdinger.
Seriously, why does Chris get all the pages where he
I
does
truly
not?
thought I wasn't even looking at it. I truly thought that was Chris improvising about learning it from my father.
All right.
Back
It
to
gets
being
better.
quiet.
It gets better. At the bottom, I drew an extra tall, extra skinny Mr. Smith holding his ears while I played the piccolo.
Oh, damn.
It wasn't a very nice picture, but when I
hope
was
we get
all
to see
done,
it.
I felt better. I slipped the note under my test and waited for a chance to pass it to Stacy. I began thinking about how she'd react to my picture. I imagined her laughing so hard she fell off her
Gee,
chair.
what could possibly go wrong?
Uh-oh.
Unfortunately, while I was daydreaming, Mr. Smith started collecting our papers. By the time I saw him walking up my row, it was too late to move the note. As I watched in horror, he snatched up my test and my note along with it, as a wave of terror washed over me. I watched Mr. Smith walk away with my nasty note. I closed my eyes and swallowed. Oh man, I didn't really get a whole lot of dialogue. I was doomed!
Chapter 3.
Okay. An unearthly noise. No one wants to volunteer any unearthly noises. Thank you.
I got a slide whistle somewhere.
I think it's in the
I-
dining room.
What about the? Didn't you have a
was not
Get it
ready
in
to burp.
The
anticipation.
whoopee cushion.
the whoopee cushion?
Whoopee cushion.
Where is the whoopee cushion?
I was listening to
Why do we own those objects?
one of the
'Cause
episodes,
we
one
do
of the
this
other
show.
older episodes yesterday, and the whoopee cushion came out, and
Oh my god, it was
Wait, you listen to this?
yeah, I try and dip back into it every once in a while.
What happened to it? Oh, it's disgusting. disgusting.
What's happening?
Describe what's happening for the listeners.
I don't even
And
know what
me.
to say. I'm gonna take a picture and send it.
Did you put your
and you're
mouth
gonna
on it?
understand.
I need
Did
to
you
cut
put-
that off like
It
a
looks
surgeon.
like someone with like acid in their mouth put their mouth on it.
Ew.
What the fuck?
That's fucking disgusting.
We're
Did you
talking
put,
about the whoopee
wait, did you
cushion,
put
right?
your mouth on
Yeah.
Oh
on
my
it?
god, it's
I touched it. I touched
get this away
it.
from me.
I'm cutting it off.
Blow it up.
Wait, should I
Hurry
take my
up.
mouth off
You
now?
can't cut it off. It
After I
won't
cut it off.
fart.
Trash.
Put your mouth
If you
on
cut it off,
again.
it's not going to fart anymore.
We need to go back to D Creek and buy a new whoopee cushion.
Yeah, if you
the
cut
only
it off,
place
it's not.
they
It's
sell
just
them.
a
The only
pee
place
cushion.
you could possibly get one.
Like it has stuff.
my
It has
God.
stuff on the tip to make it stick so that it makes the flappy sound.
It's the gunk. The gunk
So
went
we learned
rancid.
something today. Whoopee cushions have an expiration date.
Yep.
It's just not properly displayed.
You gotta keep them in the fridge.
Four
next
of you,
time.
right?
Okay.
Sending
well,
you a Facebook message.
And
yes, please.
Jonathan, as
Yeah.
you just put your headphones back on, we figured out who our one listener is, and it's Joe.
Oh, good.
Oh man.
Let's hear it from Joe.
Yay!
I hit my teeth on
All
it.
right. I'm starting this chapter over in
Go
light
for it.
of
I'll be right back.
our
You guys
Props.
need to look at that picture
Props
seriously. I
section.
need you to suffer with me and
Yeah,
understand
yeah.
what just happened.
Don't
oh,
start
yeah.
reading it. Look at the picture
I
that she
need
sent.
to I'm narrating so that this makes great radio.
It definitely.
Ew. This Are you sure one of your cats didn't attack it?
No, that was
no,
in a
that
drawer.
is not. Yeah, that was my first thought. Was
That
a
was-
cat chewed on it?
That
but
was
no.
time. Time did that.
That was time.
It looks like it
Time in
melted.
your
Yeah.
acid spit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like we there's just probably like spit sitting in there, and then it just melted over time.
I
Oh
meant,
man.
It was
Wait,
all
wait, what was it?
It was crusty.
Did you have it in the
Crusty.
car, like sitting in the back seat in
No,
the
it was
sun?
just in my office. It was just in a drawer in the office. You know, the
You need
whoopee
to go
cushion drawer.
get some tests done, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe you're the alien.
You're the alien from Alien.
Yes.
And you
gonna-
have acid spit.
Save this photo so
But
it
you
comes
have
up
a John face on.
so it comes up on my time hop 5 years from now. The fuck? All right.
Okay, go on.
I'm starting this chapter over in light of our new prop department.
Becca, that actually
new,
is part of the
ADR.
book. She's not just saying that. That is
I'm starting this
first
chapter
Thank you.
over.
Thanks
sentence.
for clarifying.
This book is so meta. An unearthly noise. The only thing I could think about for the rest of the day was how I was going to get that note back. When we went outside for recess, I pulled Stacy aside to tell her what had happened. What am I going to do? I don't know.
Wait. Stacy's French, remember?
She's French. Stacy
Stacy Benoit.
Benoit.
Stacy
Balls.
Benoit.
Balls.
Stacy
I
Benoit.
don't know, she said.
From
but you'd
Archer.
better do
It's from
something because if that note has my name on it, Mr. Smith will get mad at me too. Oh.
Yeah.
This is so good. Oh, I love this.
I'm
So
thinking about the French guys in Monty Python.
I blow my nose at you.
I fart in your general
I
direction.
fart in your general
Your
direction.
mother was a hamster.
She smelled of elderberry.
There it is.
The father smelt of elderberry.
Oh
Your
shit.
Your
father
father.
smelt of elderberries.
Now I'm lost and confused because
Maybe
we
he
did
won't
a
see it.
sidebar. Maybe he, and who am I? I'm Hermione.
Hermione.
Maybe he won't see it, I said. Stacy snorted. Are you kidding? He's checked every single paper we ever handed in. Stacy
That's
was
really
right.
good, actually. That's a great French
I love
accent.
it.
Like you
You
sound
like
you're
Ember
from Quebec.
Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
And not only do you sound,
shit.
do you have like the Frenchness to it, but it's like Canadian French and not like French.
Rude.
Yeah. Well, no,
No,
mean,
exactly.
that's the point.
Because Canadian French are more rude than French.
Yeah. No, I know.
So-
I just
And that's what the French call themselves. French.
So anyway,
French.
Yeah, we're-
I'm
you know, we're
fucking French. Stacy was right. She always was when it came to that kind of stuff. Actually, the heavy-duty checking was probably the best thing about Mr. Smith. He always handed back our papers. Of course, they never had a note or comment on them, just lots of red circles around the mistakes and a grade at the top. I mean, it seems pretty fucking standard. I didn't mind that on math papers, but it really annoyed me when it came to my writing. When Ms. Schwartz marked our stories and essays, she had always penciled in comments that showed she was paying attention to our ideas and sometimes drew little dicks in the margins. And it was really funny.
You don't have ideas. You're 11.
Oh, you're nothing. You're
She
nothing.
She drew beavers in the margins.
She was little beavers in the margins. When Mr. Smith handed back an essay, it looked as though he'd been sitting next to an axe murder while he was marking it. The man
An axe murder, not an
axe
axe murderer.
Not an axe murderer.
Well,
Sitting
an
next
axe
to an
murderer.
axe
Guys, an
murder.
axe murderer is not like
It makes
bloating
more
with
sense with the
blood
next
at all
sentence.
I know, but sitting next to a murder, sitting next to an ongoing activity.
ongoing murder.
No,
Well, that's
the
how
next
you would
sentence
get-
makes
phrase.
less sense.
That's
is a
how
weird
you
phrasing.
get, but that's how you would get blood on the paper.
I
Yeah.
understand that. While he was marking it.
It wouldn't fall in little perfect circles.
Unless you were
How many
really
axe
good.
murders have you been
It would
to?
be a
Oh,
pretty,
shit.
a
Somebody
pretty.
call
Mind your
Dexter.
own
It would
business.
be.
I
That would
personally
be-
have graded papers next to several axe murders that it does fall in perfect.
Look, I've seen American Psycho. He had to put plastic down on everything.
Yeah.
If you could make your murder blood fall specifically on the spelling errors, then I'd be like, you know what, you're free. You
free
get
to go.
away
Write
with
that
one.
book.
No jail
Brian.
for you.
No jail for you. The man must have bought red pens by the case.
Got it.
But thank you. But all he used them for was to circle missing commas and misspelled words. He treated our essays like spelling tests. Yeah, you have to
Well, yeah, you're in
learn how to
school.
spell.
That's
You
the
idiot.
deal.
You're in
Can I-
sixth
That's what
grade.
teachers
Can I ask
do.
can I ask a quick question?
No.
This book is written from, it's like the inner monologue of
Child.
Susan.
Yeah.
right? So you got to keep using the Hermione accent in all of this exposition, just because it's not dialogue. She doesn't. She doesn't
No.
think in her brain.
House
in
rules, we
American.
only do the accents in quotes.
All right.
It would be too
I'm
hard.
just saying.
It's too time consuming.
The dumb
House
fucking
rules.
voices we come up with, it would literally kill us. If you remember Sweet Valley High, the main character sounded like Batman.
Yes.
Yeah.
How could I forget?
Well, that's how we got. That's how we got to Joanna trying to do the.
Yeah.
Gee, how could I forget?
Where's the Joker?
Well, they say like some people don't even like hear their inner monologue like narrated in their own voice.
Yeah.
Like, some people
Apparently, I
just
don't understand what that's like.
have like
That
abstract
and
thoughts.
aphantasia, I don't understand.
What's aphantasia?
You cannot create mental images.
That's crazy.
yeah.
No,
That's insane.
I'm
ridiculous. You made it
inundated
up.
with mental images and inner monologue 24/7.
Yeah.
I've
I
seen
do feel
everyone
like
I've
my
ever
inner
met
monologue
naked.
Doesn't sound like me though. I don't feel like I hear my voice in my head. I
Yeah,
just have thoughts.
I don't really. I don't.
Mine
But
is
are
at-
your thoughts like sentences and words, or are they just like general impressions of ideas?
Ooh, it's all over the place.
Yeah, me
That
too.
is not
Oh,
surprising in the slightest.
I mean, you're married to him, but do you really want to know what's
Christ.
going
I
on
don't know why
inside
you're
there?
gonna ask.
I actually have to take back everything I said because my inner monologue is actually in a
German
British
voice.
accent.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's the
And Joanna, and
inverse,
like
so-
sometimes I'll do it out loud if I'm working on something, and Joanna hears me. It's British.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Like if I'm working on something and I'm talking to myself, I'll be like, "Oh, I've got to put this screw in the screw hole here."
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not like doing it to be funny or
'Cause
to,
no
or
one's
to
listening.
perform.
Awesome.
There's no one in
No
the
one
Do you
room
do
with
that
me.
while you're at work?
Yeah, sometimes.
Brian, did you have you been struck in the head recently? You have
Well,
like
his coworkers
slow
are like,
onset
"All right,
foreign
you're
accent
working
syndrome.
with crazy Brian today. Things you need to know. There's a checklist. He's got a few ticks.
Least of which being the intermittent British accent.
He reads all the emails he's typing out loud in a British accent.
accent.
I realized recently that I talk out loud while I'm typing, and I think that's a only since I've been home thing. And I really hope I stop doing that whenever I go
boy.
back to the office.
Nope, you're gonna do
Oh
it,
boy.
and you're
That
Like,
guy
how
who
myself
sits
doing it, I was
next
like,
to me
why am I
smells
saying
like
these words
poo.
out
Oh
loud?
Jesus! one of my coworkers has like a tick where he just like he has an encyclopedic knowledge. Zach.
That's already annoying.
Bleep.
he has an I don't give a shit. He has an encyclopedic knowledge of like jingles and like theme songs, but
Is he Chris?
but no, it's worse. No. It's
Worse than Chris?
It's worse than Chris.
I'm complimented.
It's worse than Chris because and the crazy thing about what he does that still is worse than Chris is that he'll
Even still.
he'll do a thing. He'll just like quote something or sing something to you, and you'll be like, "What?" And then he'll be like, "You know, the AT&T commercial from 1989." You're like, "What?"
No,
and he'll
I don't
just be
know.
like, "Doesn't everybody else remember that?" And everyone's like, "No." Like he remembers all of these things, and he's like, "I don't know why I remember that." I'm like, "I don't."
That
either.
is worse. Like I can't
Does he
say
s-
like what year it's fucking from.
No,
He
that's weird.
like he remembers them to such a specific degree, and then the extra crazy thing is that he will expect everyone to. He thinks it's a universal thing, so he'll do it, and then be like a little shocked, like that you aren't on his level. And like I swear to God, I've worked with him for like 3.5 years. It's happened 5 billion times.
Can you get him on the call right now? Because Joanna and I, no, seriously, Joanna and I have this little jingle that we cannot figure out what it, and it's been like
Sing
5
it.
years on.
It's recorded, so I'll play it for
play
him.
it for
Do you,
Zach.
I'll play this for Zach.
Do you remember it?
My 3D 4D baby.
Do 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 do. What the fuck is
I
that?
do remember that.
What
is that?
Wait, what is that?
So-
that sounds
Have you
familiar.
looked it up?
So- I don't
What
know
is
what to
that?
look up. What do I look
I've
up?
tried
Do 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 do
3D
do.
40 baby.
Wait,
what
was
did
that-
you
is
say?
that
No,
real
no, no.
lyrics?
Okay,
No.
so
Hold on.
sorry. No,
Back
backstory
it
is
up.
that
Joanna's a fucking weirdo.
I'm a psychopath, and there's a place, there's an establishment, a business establishment
Which
That
number one
sounds
is
so
hilarious.
shady.
next
What does
to.
that mean?
It's next to
Exactly.
where we used to park our car in Astoria,
God.
and I guess it's like a ultrasound place. But
It says my
it's
3D,
called
4D baby.
My 3D 4D baby.
My
and
3D.
and I
What? My
What's a 4D
3D
baby?
My 3D 4D baby.
So in the process of us
Does
trying
it
to figure
time
out,
travel?
yeah. So in the process of us trying to figure out what the fuck my 3D 4D baby means, Joanna sings my 3D 4D baby, and I thought it was hilarious. And then I was like, what? Wait, what jingle is that? And then we had two separate tracks. We had what the fuck is a 3D 4D baby, and what the fuck is this jingle?
Wow.
God.
Wow.
Two
Thank-
huge
it just
questions.
came
Wow.
out of me,
Thanks
and
for
I don't-
pulling us into this goddamn David Fincher mystery. Jesus Christ.
You have to sing
thought
that for
it
Zach
was-
tomorrow.
I thought
And I
it was
swear-
like an insurance
That sounds
company. Like
familiar.
It's in my head. It's gonna
I think
drive.
I think it might be an insurance. I think it might be an insurance company.
think-
I think we
I-
heard it.
I want to say State Farm.
You've infected
It's
us.
possible.
No, that's like a good neighbor. State Farm.
No.
Yeah, you're right.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
No,
No,
like
no,
a good
that's the
neighbor,
actual words.
State Farm
Wait.
is there.
The actual
I've got
words
to
are
read
ba
this
ba
book.
ba ba da ba. It's food. It's food related.
What is it?
Is it?
yeah. I got
Oh,
you.
no.
This
bad.
is
Break me off
This
a
is
piece
bad.
of that.
this is like
Oh, cream.
Fancy feast.
break me off a piece of that football cream.
Wait, what was that?
The
Oh,
office.
of course.
Is our
No,
entire-
cream.
It's fast food related, and it's ba
God.
ba 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 da ba.
All right. Holy
So,
shit.
I mean-
This-
Wait,
anyway.
that's McDonald's.
We have to hold on.
No,
no,
not.
it's
Is
McDonald's.
McDonald's?
That
Yeah.
Jonathan, that is the mistake I make every single time, and I almost sing the McDonald's.
No, that's
I almost
ba-da-
sing
No,
the.
the I'm loving it is new.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm
That's
loving it.
that's new.
That's McDonald's. No,
That's
yeah.
new though.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
because
new.
Brian
Go
Cox,
back to
who's
our
doing-
childhood.
Brian Cox, who's doing fucking
You're wrong.
voiceovers for McDonald's commercials, actually like mumbled under his breath in a commercial the ba 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 da ba.
That's McDonald's.
and it's
No,
fucking.
it's not.
It's gotta
No,
be.
it's not.
Are you looking it up?
I think it is.
I'm just. This
I will
podcast
bet-
is a
I will-
This
disaster.
is off the
Should we
rails.
move
are
on? We
not
should move
making
on.
it
We should move
through.
on.
I was
Third
trying to
of the
This is
say.
why Joe listens to
I mean,
it.
there's
Okay.
shit- I'm just looking
Think
at general,
about Joe
like,
a month
80s.
from now
I
when
guess I
she
should look up
listens to this
90s.
I was gonna
Yes,
say early
it's
90s.
for me.
Yeah.
She's our one listener.
I swear
no,
to God, it's McDonald's.
Ba, 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 da, ba. Yeah, no, it's McDonald's.
Because the I'm loving
No,
it
it's
thing was
not.
like in the 2000s.
It's not McDonald's.
I think it's
Here's
McDonald's.
1990 to 1992.
Want to come and sing my new song?
Yeah, nailed it, guys.
What if this is it?
can't sing.
Nope, that's not
I
it.
was really hoping it was going to be right at the
It
end.
was-
If it was just right at the end, I
wasn't-
would have died.
I will say that wasn't too far off.
Well, they all are so similar when you start
And here's the
looking
thing.
into it.
Joanna
Do a
and
deep
I
dive later.
Yeah, Joanna and I, we literally spent a 3-hour car ride home trying to figure out what it was.
Yeah.
And we never figured it out. And then one day I was watching football, but we were like talking in the other room and not paying attention. And then we heard it happen in the room, but we couldn't get back in time to see like what it was for. So it's definitely something that's
it's
still
current.
active.
Yeah. It must be current.
I think
Or
I-
we
I
hallucinated it,
really
which is
think-
very possible.
boy.
No way. If we hallucinated it, everybody hallucinated it.
Hate you?
I was just-
My 3D 4D
Yeah.
baby.
D40 baby. All right.
I want to get to the end of the commercial.
We broke the podcast.
Because the stars of Walt Disney's classic movie 101 Dalmatians are now 4 opposable toys.
101 Dalmatians.
Cruella, please give me those puppies.
I'm just going to go to the bathroom and get another drink because this has gone off the rails.
All right,
I'm just
yeah.
going to get drunker.
Where the fuck are we in this book?
I'm reading a page. Okay, are we
Are you
ready?
still
Are we
on this
ready?
page?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you're the ones that wanted to talk about McDonald's.
All right. This all started when we were talking about whether or not the character's internal monologue should have a British accent.
Oh, right.
So it doesn't.
I didn't bring
Then we
that
It
up.
talked
doesn't.
about people that lack an internal monologue.
Okay, we
and
don't have to
then-
go through this again.
What
You
was
asked.
after that, though?
Shut up. I
Don't you direct me.
Jesus.
I ask you. Okay, yeah. So Mr. Smith corrects errors that he
Yeah.
should correct
Yeah, he's
for
a
a
fucking
school
teacher.
project.
Yeah.
And she's upset. I ask you, what's the point of writing something if that's the only response you get? Learning how to write.
I was going to say, am I going to be on the fucking side of this teacher who's an alien?
Yeah, probably.
Damn it.
Kids these days, am I right?
Kids these
Well, it's
fucking
just
days.
grammatical criticism, not creative
Yeah.
criticism.
Yeah, it's true. Finally, I'm sure there's a lot of real, creative meat to dig into on these
Oh, I'm sure.
6th grade school assignments. Finally, I decided to try to get back into the building to see if I could snatch my note while Mr. Smith was still outside. There was one more word on
Oh,
that
sorry.
page, but Brian's...
If it.
Oh, if it.
If it.
If it. Oh, am I going now?
Yes.
You are.
If it had been Ms. Schwartz, I would have just asked if I could go to the bathroom. But Mr. Smith didn't believe in letting you off the playground for such a frivolous reason. He said by the time you were in 6th grade, you should know enough to take care of things like that in advance.
Okay, that shit right there. That shit. Did you have to deal with that in school?
Oh,
Because
I got
vividly remember teachers saying the same shit to me, and I'm like,
Do you know
I
how
sh-
poop works?
Yeah, do you-
Guy?
exactly.
You never had to crap
Do you-
really bad?
teachers, when you say you have to go to the bathroom, and teachers saying you should know when you have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
heard anyone say that to me.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
and
I
it's
know.
like,
what does
yes.
that mean?
Now.
You should know.
Now.
That shit, it means
I
you're
know
asking
now.
to go to the bathroom, and they're like, you should have, you should know when, and like,
Like,
it's,
you should have
Like, you
gone
should have
earlier.
anticipated.
Yes, like, you
20
shouldn't
minutes
have to
ago
go
that
now.
now you would have to go.
Yep.
No one's ever said that to me before.
Oh my god, I feel like
I
that
definitely
happens
remember being
all the time in
denied
school.
frequently at
Yes.
like asking to go pee, and it's like, no, you should have gone earlier, or like whatever. Like, well, how
yeah,
about earlier?
exactly.
I didn't have to pee.
You should
Not only-
you should have gone earlier, and it's like I didn't have to pee earlier.
Or
Now,
poop. I mean,
I
poop.
do.
There's poop too that happens, and that happens way more like
There is
immediately
poop.
sometimes.
There
I didn't know
is
that I would be
poop.
so triggered by that
my
sentence,
God.
but
God
like,
Can I
damn.
tell
I've
you?
never
a
heard that before.
it's bringing
Well, you're
back
not on his.
just-
You don't have to worry about being on his side anymore.
it's just bringing back like teacher memories of saying that, and then and just be thinking like, "Fuck you!" Like,
Ooh,
I feel like I always got to go when I had to go.
I
Not
definitely
only-
didn't.
lucky you.
But
I was a good
this is
student.
he's an alien because he doesn't understand why
He doesn't
humans need to go to the
understand
bathroom. That's why it's
human biology.
Doesn't understand.
You're telling me he
Out my
made.
eyeball.
You're telling me that this alien traveled through space, came to our planet, made a people suit, and didn't figure out why there's a hole on the butt.
Did you see signs? They didn't know most of the planet
Ew,
was water.
Brian, I don't
They
like the
also
hand
didn't
gesture
have-
you're doing.
Hole in the butt.
There's a hole
Yeah,
in the
no,
Use your
butt.
sign language.
imagination.
This
Look,
means
a hole,
butt.
a hole in the butt.
We
Don't
got
look. Don't
we
look.
got the shocker
gotta do this
and the
slightly.
spocker.
The
Brian,
sparker.
continue, please, reading the chapter.
Christ.
Please.
I just have to say one thing though.
Yes,
I
please.
got in trouble for having to go to the bathroom all the time,
Yeah.
and not only that, but I got in a week long no recess because after phys ed one time they wouldn't let us get drinks from the water fountain.
What?
And I slipped out of line and got a drink because I was like literally dying after PE. And the teacher came and caught. It was like 5 of us, and we got no recess for a week, and we had to write like on the chalkboard like 1,000
I will not
times,
drink
like,
water.
I will not.
I will not drink
hydrate.
water. Yeah.
Basically,
What school was this?
my public school, and it's like my
But
one
which
moment in
one?
life.
I need to know.
Worthington Elementary School.
Put them on blast.
It's like my one moment in life that like I want to go back to just be like, bitch, do you understand about dehydration?
Like,
You're
I
a
got
science
detention.
teacher.
You should have pretended to faint.
I got
should've-
detention for talking through church, and that's fine. Like, yeah, like that's
Yeah.
on me. I talked.
And
through
also,
church.
you'll have to go to hell for that too.
Well, I'm gonna help.
Yeah,
for a
your
lot of
payment will
reasons.
come.
There's a lot of. I mean, just add it to the list, man. But
I got in trouble because I would fall asleep in church, and it was
boring.
only later in life that I realized that I snore really loud.
Yeah.
Well, God
And
is
Jesus
listening.
said,
God is listening.
all right,
all
I
right.
only got
Continue.
detention
The
once, and I was doing a
second-
good deed.
what were
The
you doing?
second best.
And couldn't see the board because she had forgotten her glasses, or it was before she had them. So I was reading the board to her, and then we both got in trouble and got detention.
Jesus Christ.
Like, I'm literally helping with schoolwork.
I think that half
It was
of
the only
teachers
one
are
time I ever got
sadists.
it. Yeah.
I think
Yes.
I think half the teachers out there are just like, I want to fuck with kids.
Conservatively,
They're
yes.
so mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck with
They're
kids.
just
Okay.
really
Like
mad.
the one that made
The-
me diagram a sentence after I said, I don't know how. And she was like,
make
well,
it
try anyway. And I said, I just told you I don't know how.
Just sit next to an axe murderer and let it
Yeah.
figure it out for you.
Axe murderer.
Okay,
No.
Brian.
The second best method for getting off
Excuse me?
the playground was getting sick.
Good one, babe.
Only had like five.
No, the funniest thing is that Jonathan thought we'd get through a third of this book.
That's
No,
true.
a third.
You
We're
know what,
at
guys?
17%.
This is fun.
It just
This
means
is
that
what's
we're
fun.
friends and we
Your
have
new
a lot of
nickname's
fun together.
Icarus.
Yeah. How
means
boring
this-
would it be if we just came and read this book?
Yeah.
It would just be an audiobook.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
People already
Well, no,
have
the problem
this.
is the book's
For
good.
better books.
So
Spinning my chair.
Oh my god. But I want to put my feet up. Thank you.
Director damn
How can you say
near
director?
killed her. I can only do it for a second, and then she gets cute like that, and I have to slap her.
All right, Duncan.
I'll see you inside, I said to Stacy.
Good.
Then I clutched my stomach, squinched up my face, and staggered over to where Mr. Smith was
I
standing.
was just thinking, oh, she's too young to say I have cramps.
Yeah, I'm
That's
pregnant.
what every girl in high school did when they
Got
didn't
a
want to
couple
be in
years
class.
ago.
Later, I remembered that he was looking straight at the sun.
Like,
You can tell.
Oh,
You can tell he like went back to like plant the seeds in the book My Teacher's an Alien, that the teacher was
Yeah,
an
just-
alien.
later I remembered he looked kind of like an alien.
He was like, I don't have
honestly-
enough George R.R. Martin foreshadowing shadowing in this book called My Teacher's an Alien. I'm gonna go
Staring
back.
right at an eclipse through binoculars.
Who would do that?
I'd love to read a review of this book and have them complain like, like I'm kind of upset that he gave it away in the title.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it could have just been My Teacher's really weird.
there's
Something's
something wrong with my teacher.
wrong.
Yeah, there's something wrong with Mr. Smith. Okay. But right then, I was too worried about the note to pay attention to the fact that what he was doing should have burned out his eyeballs. I moaned,
I'm
trying
sorry,
to
what was
sound
that
Wait,
again?
do it again, but do it sexier.
We're reading about kids.
Mr. Smith looked down at me. Is something wrong, Ms. Simmons? He asked. I don't feel good, I said. I want to see the nurse.
See, now you're doing Oliver Twist. It's hard. It's hard.
I don't feel
I
good.
want to see the nurse. It's
I want
hard.
to see the nurse, please.
I don't feel good. I want to see the nurse.
Better.
Mr. Smith hesitated, then looked at his watch. It's time to go in now anyway, he said. Line up with the rest of us. You can see Mrs. Glocka after we get in.
Glocka.
Cool.
Mrs.
Cool.
Glocka.
Normal name.
She loves to shoot the shit.
I want to hear
made up names
Gilbert
at all.
Gottfried say that name.
Miss Glock.
Glocka. Mrs. Glocka.
Now what? If I claimed I was about to throw up, he'd probably let me go inside right away. But if he was bringing everyone else in anyway, I wouldn't have the time I needed to go through the papers and find the note. All right, I moaned, trying to sound pitiful. I hoped it would make him feel guilty. I almost wished I was going to throw up. I'd make sure to hit his shoes. Of course, once we were inside, I had to go to the nurse's office, even though I actually felt perfectly fine.
Liar.
Mrs. Glocka told me to lie down. I wasn't surprised.
That was the solution for everything.
Lie down.
That was
lie down,
her basic
there was
cure
a room,
for
and you would lie
everything.
down, they'd
Yep.
turn the lights off,
Yep.
and then you'd just come out eventually.
Yep.
Yep.
In my middle school, the nurse's solution to everything was an ice pack.
Yep.
Like, your arm fell off, have an ice pack. Like, it just,
you guys didn't
and
get
it was
hand
always
jobs?
like a weird ice pack with like a frozen paper towel inside of a Ziploc bag.
I don't think I ever had an ice pack.
Yeah,
I always
it was
just had to
very
lie
odd.
down.
It was. They took your temperature. If you could force it to be high, you could go home.
I never
How
did
the
that.
fuck?
I feel like I went
Squeeze.
home a
Put the
lot when I was
thermometer in your mouth,
younger.
and you go like this when they're not
You
looking.
squeeze it. You pressure
You
cook
just
it.
you give yourself a headache. You're like,
It's
I
by
don't think-
sheer force of will you increase your
Yeah,
internal body
I
temperature.
don't
Yes!
think that works. I don't think
John,
Um,
you really need to go get some
it
tests done.
100% worked because I would get bored and I'd go to the nurse and I would fake a fever and then I'd call my mom and be like, I had to go home. I don't feel good.
My
Yeah.
My mom would
see?
come and pick
And
me
she'd
up.
be like, I was bored too. Let's
Yeah,
go to the movies.
probably my mom was like, "Oh, thank God, I've got to leave work."
I need someone to hang out with.
My mom has recently admitted to days that she woke up and didn't feel like going to work, and then said to me, "Do you want to just skip school today?" Because like she took me out of school sometimes to just go to a movie or like stay home
That's
because I was
awesome.
the third child and she was tired.
She's amazing.
She was tired.
She was done by
Good
then.
parenting.
She was done by that. She was just like, "Who gives a shit?"
It took her two to get good at it.
Yeah, exactly.
that is.
But
But,
then, yeah.
but like the worst thing for me was I'd want to get out of class. I'd be like, my stomach hurt, and I'd go to the nurse's office and I'd walk in, and my mom was subbing for the nurse that day,
Uh-oh.
and she'd just look at me, and I would just turn around
You just-
and
yeah.
walk back.
Just turn on your heel and
That's
walk right out.
fucking awesome. That's hilarious.
Come
That
back
is
and be
like-
like, I'm fine.
That
She
is the
fixed it.
that is the beginning scene to the comedy about your childhood.
Fuck, that's
100%.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
It's
That's
you in
perfect.
class
It's the cold
doing
opens.
something goofy, like
shit.
acting like you don't want to be there, and be like, "My stomach hurts," and then you go to
Yeah.
the nurse, and it's your mom, and you
And
just
it's
turn around.
Mary
and walk.
Bum,
Zaleski.
bum, bum.
Mary
And then
Lou.
later at home being like, why
Yep.
didn't you tell me you were doing that today? Normally you tell me these things.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, finally, I decided to follow Mr. Smith home. Maybe I could find some way to
Wait, follow
Click.
him home?
Yeah, I know. That took a leap.
get the note back before it was too late.
I didn't have any big plan, mind you. I was just desperate and willing to commit a felony. I wasn't sure where Mr. Smith lived, but I figured it couldn't be too far since he always walked to school.
Why did she know that?
Because I
I'm sorry, Brian
Studied
just took
him.
his headphones off and smacked himself in the face with.
I heard a
wait,
sound.
was it-
I thought it was a beer opening.
What happened?
Brian just hit himself in the face with his
Are you
headphones.
recording the video
Yeah.
also? All right. Well,
We'll go back.
We'll go back
We'll go
later.
back to it.
I don't think it probably looked as dramatic
We'll
as
rewind the tape.
I thought it was.
We'll put a slow motion replay on.
I wasn't sure where he lived, but I figured it could be too far because he always walked to school. So after the last bell, I hung around on the playground, waiting for Mr. Smith to come out of the building. I really thought Peter was going to be in this more.
Me too. Well, that's the patriarchy for you.
That
we see
sure
a boy
is.
on the cover.
We
and
see
we
a boy on
think
the
he's
cover.
the main character.
Yep.
We're only on like chapter 3.
That's true. It feels like we're halfway through this book, but we are...
Do you think the narration
Mere
is going
pages
to shift?
in.
I hope not.
Well,
I'm on
fucking,
Susan's side.
you never know.
I'm with her.
Susan the Piccolo
I'm with
player?
her. Oh.
The
I'm
piccolo
with
player.
her. Jesus Christ. All right.
I was concentrating so hard I almost jumped out of my skin. Oh, you know what? I spoke too soon. When Peter Thompson came up behind me and said, "Hey, Susan, what are you doing?" "None of your business," I hissed. "Leave me alone." Peter's skinny face kind of crumpled. He looked like he was going to cry.
Jesus.
"Look," I said, "this is private, okay?
I just learned the word private today.
It's private." "Sure," said Peter. "I won't bother you." He tucked his book under his arm and he walked away, trying to whistle.
Trying to whistle?
Trying to whistle, sounded like this.
I can sympathize with the trying to whistle.
It took me a long time, but I can do it now, but it took me a good long time.
My fucking coworker can whistle
All right.
along to any fucking song he
right.
hears. And
I don't know how
it pisses
people
me
whistle.
off.
Yeah, I don't know how people whistle to a
Okay.
pitch they
I'm
want
sorry.
to make.
Jonathan whistles all the time, and it's horrible.
Yeah, I
And
love
I can't
whistling.
say, like,
glad.
hey, stop whistling, because that's a horrible person thing to say. I'm just like, hey,
that
stop
is
having
the
fun and
appropriate thing to
enjoying
say.
your life.
Stop. Shut
Every
up.
time my
stop.
coworker does it,
enjoying
I'm like,
yourself.
fucking show off.
I
mean,
love
read-
whistling.
I read a big
whistle.
study
Then.
that people who whistle, it's like the number one sign of narcissism.
Fuck you.
I can do like a single tone, and that's it.
I thought you were gonna say like it
I
means you
can
have a
do,
small
like,
dick
a
or
little
something.
bit of sounds.
It's a demand
fucking
for.
show
Stop, please.
I can
I
do
love
this.
whistling. Anyway.
All right.
I can do this note.
Anyway, Peter tucked his book
It's
under
not a
his
note,
arm. You
that's
all
just
are
a breath.
pathetic. He tucked his book under his arm and walked away,
hurtful.
trying to whistle. It sounded like this. It was a pretty pathetic sound.
You
Oh.
sounded like Pac-Man dying.
I thought of it.
I took a sip, Bekah. We've been over this. Stop saying funny shit right after I take a drink.
I thought
Sorry, I'll
about
keep my eyes on your camera.
I thought about Peter. I thought about Peter and realized with a shock that I was probably the closest thing he had to a
Ooh,
friend.
That's a sad sentence.
Ooh, that's sad.
Jesus.
Ooh, that made me kind of
Peter.
sad.
That
Not
was the
that
line
there's
of the
a
book.
Not that there's anything wrong with having me for a friend, said Seinfeld. But I've got I've got.
What's the deal with teachers?
Not that there's anything wrong with having me as a friend. But I've got a lot of friends, and I didn't really think of Peter as
Her
being
internal
one
monologue
of them.
sounds like Jerry Seinfeld.
Can we do it that way? Can
Yes.
we
I
do
like
that
it
rest
now?
of the
all
book.
right. He just wasn't someone I spent much time with.
We have 103
This
pages
can get-
left.
I wondered
God
if
help
there's
me.
anyone who did spend time with him. Oh, it's brutal. My thoughts were interrupted when I saw Mr. Smith come out of the building. I waited for a minute or two and then began sneaking along behind him. Sneak, sneak,
Picturing
sneak,
this.
sneak. I
Little
tried to
creepy
stay
guy.
half a block away or so. Whenever I could, I ducked behind a tree or a bush so he wouldn't spot me. I probably looked pretty weird. Little sneaky Susan. But there's one nice thing about being a kid. You can get away with that kind of stuff.
Oh,
Jesus
great, excellent.
Christ.
It says this kind of stuff. Not that.
Okay, Mr.
Okay, Mr. Smith.
Smith.
You said the wrong T word.
Chris is an alien.
Oh,
Chris,
she
you're an
already
alien.
fucked up tenses earlier, and I let it slide. I didn't say anything, but she fucked up tenses within the same
She
sentence.
fucked
so
up tenses.
she obviously
She's
needs
not
more
Hermione.
schooling and less fucking making plays.
Yeah.
Using fucking passive voice and shit.
Mr. Smith's home was farther away than I had expected. He lived at the edge of town in an old white house with black shutters. The house was set way back from the street. A thick hedge completely surrounded the lot on which it stood.
And there was a spaceship on top of it.
Dead cows were everywhere.
stood outside the hedge feeling stupid. What did I hope to accomplish by following Mr. Smith? But I was in luck. As I watched from a hole in the hedge, I saw Mr. Smith set his briefcase down on the porch and go inside. Somebody highlighted that sentence. Why? 11 people highlighted that sentence. I'm sorry.
Weird.
I can't get past that. Since it was a warm afternoon, I figured he planned to get something to drink, then come back outside to sit on the porch and correct our papers.
Yeah.
This was my chance. Well, yeah, now I'm picturing, like, the South and a rocking chair and, like, some sweet iced tea.
I told you.
Dad,
We're in
here
Louisiana.
It's Louisiana.
in whatever falls Louisiana.
We gotta change all the accents.
Louisiana.
Louisiana.
This was my
This
chance.
was my
Down here in
chance.
Nerlens.
Nerlens.
I scooted through that hole in the hedge.
Oh my God.
I am willing to
that's
give
what
up my
I'm doing.
chapter to Brian if he does that voice for the rest of it.
I scooted on through that hole in the hedge and onto the porch. I was working up the nerve to open up the briefcase when I heard an unearthly howl. It sounded like someone was trying to put a cat in a blender. Hot as it was, I felt my blood turn to ice. What was going on in there? Had someone attacked Mr. Smith? I wasn't crazy about the man, but I didn't want him to be tortured or nothing, which is what this sounded like. Should I run for help or go inside? But what kind of help could I get? All I could say was that I heard a terrible noise. Nobody was yelling for help or anything like that. I didn't think I could get anyone to come. Then it occurred to me that maybe Mr. Smith really was putting a cat in a blender.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Or something awful like that. If so, he certainly shouldn't be teaching our class. I decided to find out.
Great. Excellent. Excellent plan.
What the
Accent.
fuck?
Okay, I do want to read though. Can I do the next chapter?
Yeah.
Cat in a blender. Chapter 4.
When did we? How much time do we have left?
What if it
We've
really
got
was
some
like?
time.
Okay.
We've got time.
What if it really was just her teacher blended cats, and that would be way more disturbing
that
than
would be
an
very
alien.
fucked up? If they were like, my teacher's an alien, it's like, no, he's just
No,
he kills cats.
He kills cats
I
and puts them in
Like
Cats.
them and
Murders
drinks
small
them.
animals.
He's one of those.
All right, so this is my turn.
What do you
or-
think about that?
I'm gonna read this one.
Okay.
Sorry, thank you for the page, Bekah.
Absolutely, you did an
It was-
amazing job.
Thank you.
Chapter 4: Brock's home.
Who's Brock and why is he home?
The door was unlocked. Trying not to make any noise, I turned the knob and pushed. The door opened without a sound. I hesitated for just a moment, then stepped in. I was standing in the hallway. To my left, I saw an empty living room. And I do mean empty. Except for curtains, there wasn't one bit of furniture or decoration in the room. The walls and floor were totally bare. I flinched as another burst of horrible squawking and growling sounded above me. Taking a deep breath, I began to tiptoe up the stairs. I was glad I was wearing sneakers.
For sneaking.
As opposed to her tap shoes for sneaking. What are the other options when you're
Fucking
11?
Right.
Oh my god.
What shoes did you wear
As opposed to
when
my
you're
Modelo's.
11,
I'm glad
other
that-
than sneakers?
I'm glad I
Dumb
wasn't wearing my
child.
Oxfords.
I left my Louboutin in my other bag.
What are the ones with the red soles?
The Louboutins.
Glad I wasn't wearing
Joe just
my
said that.
loudly
Oh.
announcing
Wait,
my
really?
presence.
Yes.
Louis Vuitton?
Louboutin.
What?
Louboutin.
Louis Vuitton?
Even I know that,
Christian
Jonathan.
buttons.
I thought she was wearing loafers.
What?
It's a 30 Rock joke.
What? No,
Also,
seriously.
Brian.
Louboutin. It's not Louis Vuitton.
What word are you saying? Louis Vuitton? Louis
It is
Vuitton?
all French, darling. It doesn't matter.
You-
What is a Louis Vuitton?
Oh my god.
I need to...
Now I'm triggered.
Also, I just want to announce that when Brian does that accent, he sounds like the star of Tokyo Drift.
Ah!
That's the word.
I
Never
haven't
seen
seen
it.
Tokyo Drift.
That
Louis
doesn't matter.
Vuitton?
Yes. That's
That
what we
movie's
said.
unimportant.
That's the one with the heels.
With the red souls?
Yes.
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
glad we cleared that up. Anyway,
Jesus.
I mean, is that how
She's
you
wearing-
say it?
I guess Louboutin.
Louboutin.
That's close to Louis Vuitton.
Louis
it's-
Vuitton.
Very much different, though.
All right.
You're the one
Anyway,
that studied French. Okay.
French, not shoes.
Is
Got him, got him.
Is Louboutin like Louis Vuitton?
Louis Vuitton.
Lou Booton.
Fuck.
Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton.
Y'all got them red sole shoes, Lou Bootons?
Them loafers.
My wife wants one.
Lou Boot goofing.
Lou Boot goofing. God damn it.
Chris, that's my favorite thing you've ever said since I've known you.
Lou Boot goofing.
I'm sorry.
I love
Luba
that.
goofing.
I'm gonna have a fucking headache
No,
after
that
this
was great.
episode.
I love that Reno joke so much. I don't know why, but I love it.
Every time we're
With
playing
my whole
Destiny and
heart.
one of us gets a new pair of leg things, one of us goes new boot gootin', new boot goofing.
New boot goofing.
New Boot Gootin.
Gutenberg. All right, no. We have to
No,
stop.
I immediately
No.
thought Steve
Fuck.
Gutenberg.
About halfway up, I stopped and thought, what am I doing? I should get out of here while I can.
Good thought, Susan.
You may not believe this, but the only reason I didn't turn back was that I thought Mr. Smith might really be in trouble. Even though I didn't like the man, I didn't want anything horrible to happen to him. So I swallowed and took another step.
Yep.
The noise stopped. Was everything over? Would Mr. Smith start down the stairs and find me standing there? I was just about to turn and run when another round of squawking and shrieking made it clear that whatever was happening was still going on. I still wanted to run, but I was afraid. I was afraid to. Afraid that if I did, I might read in the paper the next day that something terrible had happened to Mr. Smith. Because all 11-year-olds read the paper. Yeah. Something I could have prevented. Of course, I was afraid to keep going, but I decided I didn't have any choice. I took another step, and then another.
Okay.
I held on to
All
the
right.
railing
Two
as if
steps.
it
we
was
are really
a
down to the
lifeline.
detail here.
The knot in my stomach got tighter with every step I took. When I got near the top, I lay down on my stomach.
No.
Wait, what is that for?
It's for
Double
for
stomachs.
my sock puppet.
Oh, I'm
glamour
sorry. I'm
show.
sorry.
Pox up it.
I fucked up John's strike tape. I'm sorry.
It's my strike tape.
Oh my god.
I had read somewhere that when you're peering around a corner, you're less likely to be seen if your head is low. So I
It
kept
really
my head
sounded
as
like you
low
said
as possible.
peeing
Where
around
the
the corner.
fuck did she read
I
that?
literally think everything Chris says is improv. Like a combination of his voice and the words
And what
in this
he's saying.
book make it sound like it's a joke.
Oh my god.
I read somewhere that when you're peeing around a corner,
I heard peeing around a corner.
Peeing around
you're
a
more
corner.
likely, you're less likely to be seen if your head is
So if you're
up.
peeking around a corner, does that mean if someone's around the corner, they just see like a little dick it's like sticking out?
Ew,
Like,
can
yeah.
you turn it like that?
I guess you could.
Yeah.
Probably.
Can you like
Yeah. If you
do a 90
All right,
degree
you
like
guys try it out tonight.
Okay, everyone
Pee
go
around
to
a
the
corner,
corner of
then
your
We
house.
don't need to
Pull
try.
your
I
dick
can
out.
totally pee at a 90-degree angle. You can pee straight up in the air.
That's true.
I
You
don't think it
can
would
point
feel
it basically
great, though.
anywhere.
You can pee
around a corner.
Around a corner. You
I
can't
feel
pee
like
around a
a
corner.
90-degree angle would be very painful.
You can
would
hit
be-
yourself
but,
in
like,
It would be uncomfortable.
Listen. You can pee
Like, I
into,
feel like if
hit
someone
the
was
back of
standing
your
around the
head.
corner, that they would see your dick going 90 degrees, but they would also see like your shoulder.
They'd see
like
they'd see
your
it like
hip.
they'd see some fingers for sure.
Maybe you guys, but for me, I'd be like
I
a
was
foot off the corner of the wall.
Waiting for
It wouldn't
that.
be
Be
like
like,
the
what's that
stealthiest
fire
thing in the
hose?
world.
Yeah. They'd be
Fire
like,
hose.
there is
Yeah.
a flesh-colored snake crawling around the corner, and he's vomiting.
That sounds uncomfortable.
Sounds like you have problems.
I feel really bad that you got to walk around with that hog.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's a burden we both bear.
Yeah. It's worse on Joanna. Let's,
When I
let's be
got near
real.
the top, I laid down. Oh, I already read that part. So I kept my head as low as possible. If I could have pulled out one eye and just stuck it around the corner to take a peek,
Not
that
an
would have been
improv.
fine with me.
Would it have been?
Not improvised. It's in the book.
Christ.
The hall was as empty as the living room. No pictures on the walls, no rug on the floor. Through an open door at the end of the hall, I could see a small blue bathroom. Closer to me, on the right, was another open door. The horrible sound seemed to be coming from there. I decided low was the way to go. Still on my belly, I slithered down one side of the hall until I had reached the doorway.
Who's the
I
real
shivered.
alien?
That noise was like a tiger running its claws down a blackboard, a noise which I am very familiar with. It felt like aluminum foil against my teeth. What could be making it?
You know,
When I
this feels like R.L. Stein, but better.
Oh
Yes.
shit!
Doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Gauntlet
So-
throw.
Feels
Yeah.
like if R.L. Stein was like more like condensed. And,
Condensed, like got to the point.
yeah.
My
like,
theory
that's the
is-
fucking point.
It's like
My
if R.L.
theory
Stein
is-
didn't like keep giving you dog cliffhangers.
Or just like repeating the same thing 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
Well, his prose is way better than R.L.
My
Stein.
theory is we go on more tangents because the book itself is very well written.
It is.
yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Bruce Coville's a good writer.
I like
I
how you
will
call
tell-
him Bruce Coville.
Yeah, that's what he's called.
I will tell you guys, when I was a kid, I got this book and a Goosebumps book at the same book fair, and I think I thought that they were like the same
Was it
author 'cause I was a
Scholastic?
dumb kid. I
Oh,
probably.
yeah. Scholastic Book Fair was... I love that meme where it was like, I'm still trying to chase the high that I felt at the Scholastic
Yeah.
Book Fair.
I've got
Oh,
10
yeah.
bucks and I'm going to the book fair.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm getting
Yeah.
scary stories to tell in the dark, and
Yeah.
When they still had the scary fucking pictures.
I still
Fucked
yeah,
up
I still have my
illustrations.
I still have my original copies.
Me
of those.
too, Brian. Those are worth some shit.
Aren't they
Joanna tries to
making
get rid of them all
a
the time.
show or a
I
movie
do
or
not.
something?
They
A
made a
movie, yeah.
Oh.
They already did.
Oh, they made it?
Oh,
Yeah, we
yeah,
never-
it
no, we
wasn't
never
very
watched
We
it.
good.
didn't like it.
I think
It
that
wasn't
happened
very
during the
good.
pandemic, maybe.
Why didn't we watch it? We had nothing else to do.
That's a good point. Well,
You guys
because-
might enjoy it. It's kind of dumb.
No.
Well, we watched the Goosebumps
No, I
movie.
mean like you guys like dumb horror. It's kind
Oh,
of dumb.
thanks.
You're dumb.
Well, it's
I
like
like the Goosebumps movie. Never saw the sequel. But...
I was like,
I didn't mean it.
Jesus
No, I
guys
didn't
like
mean
it.
it. Like
You
Oh,
guys
that.
yeah.
stupid.
You
You'll
guys,
love it.
yeah, you guys are fucking idiots. You should like it.
God,
No, I didn't.
Brian.
I didn't
Accurate.
mean it like that.
Brutal.
Like,
I mean, we
you
did
guys
go
would
see
much
F9
rather.
a few days ago.
We
you
guys
guys
saw
would-
F9 and loved every fucking second of it.
Not really.
Well, and-
not
I
I
every.
mean, not every second.
Well, okay,
no.
not every second.
there
I'm
were
not
many
count-
boring seconds.
I'm not counting the seconds where it's Vin Diesel.
That
I
was, like,
count
half
every
the
second
movie.
where The Rock isn't on screen, and he wasn't on screen in any of it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as good as the last one.
You're correct.
Anyway, when I finally got up the nerve to sneak a look around the bottom of the edge of the door, I saw Mr. Smith sitting at a little makeup table looking in a mirror.
He has a vanity
Stacy
and
was-
I don't.
He's an alien.
All right, go on.
He has to
Jonathan,
put on a
build
whole
her a
human
vanity.
suit.
Stacy was right.
I have
the
the,
man
opposite
really
of a
was
vanity.
handsome.
All of my makeup is on a really tall dresser.
It's true. Yeah. She does have the opposite of a vanity. With like the tiniest little mirror. With the
Yeah.
tiniest little
So
lights.
small.
And she puts her makeup on like in the dark. With that. You put your makeup on with that mirror with like the tiniest lights on in the dark.
I don't have another
the
option.
tea is
There's other
She
lights
lo-
to turn on.
spilled.
She likes
Jonathan.
ambiance.
I don't put
dum-dum.
any makeup on these days, by the way. Because
I don't wear
pandemic.
makeup. How dare you?
Hey, Jonathan,
Yeah.
shut up.
All right.
Stacy was right. The man really was handsome.
Oh, yeah.
He had
was.
a long, lean
Yeah.
face with a square jaw, straight nose, and cheekbones to die for.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, get
Only
it.
it was fake.
Oh no!
As I
don't
watched,
get it.
Mr. Smith pressed his fingers against the bottom of his eyes. Suddenly, he ran his fingertips to the sides of his head, grabbed his ears, and started peeling off his face.
Gasp!
I gasped.
Gasp!
Fortunately, the horrible noises coming from the room drowned it out. Why is that fortunately? I wanted to get up and run, but I was too terrified to move. I started to shake instead. Whatever Mr. Smith was, I was pretty sure the face he was slowly uncovering wasn't anything that had been born on Earth. As he stripped away the mask, I could see that he had skin the color of limes.
Limes.
Oh.
Also known as
enormous.
green.
His enormous orange eyes slanted up and away from his nose like a pair of butterfly wings.
Dang.
A
Very
series
poetic.
of muscular-looking ridges stretched from his eyes down to his lipless mouth, and then there is an illustration that
Oh,
is
so
quite
he really
amazing.
can't whistle.
It's a
Because
pretty...
the face mask looks like Richard Nixon.
What?
Well,
It's
you
too
would think
small.
this illustration would be a close-up of this
It
face.
does look
but
like
no,
Richard Nixon.
it's an angle from
Yeah, like-
behind the girl creeping around the
Yeah,
corner.
you can barely
and
see
then
it.
in the far distance is the man at the vanity
Yeah.
looking at his face in the mirror.
What
and
should
it's
I choose
pretty
to illustrate about this preceding chapter?
Like, it's
Yeah.
very well done. Like, it's a very good.
It's a
It's
creepy
lovely
picture.
illustration.
I mean,
It's not bad,
look,
but you would
if-
think after that description of the face,
There'd be a closer
you'd
picture.
get a
but
closer
we
need a face
but
peel
no.
porn.
But that's like
Shit.
climax
I
material.
bet.
a
Yeah,
wide
I was gonna
shot.
say. I bet we'll get like a good close,
They're teasing us.
like illustration of his
Well,
face later in the
But
book.
maybe we
I
just
mean,
got
did
it
you
on
guys
cover
miss the
and that's
cover?
all we'll
I'm
get.
an alien.
Oh shit.
Yum, yum, yum. Soon,
Take it in.
soon, the handsome face of quote unquote Mr. Smith was lying on the dressing table. The creature that had been hidden underneath it. Sorry.
What do you mean?
I lost my place and turned into a robot, apparently. The creature that had been
My wife
hidden-
was a robot. Chapter 1.
The creature that had been hidden underneath it began to massage his face, his real face. Ah, he said. What a relief. What a relief. He smiled at himself in the mirror, showing 2 rows of rounded purplish teeth. I had noticed that the horrible noise was coming from a pair of flat pieces of plastic hanging on the wall. But it wasn't until Mr. Smith started, quote, singing, end quote, along with the sound that I realized the plastic sheets were speakers.
What?
Get fucking weird. That hideous sound was music. Or at least
It was Tool.
it's been fun, guys. Good night.
Someone's sleeping on the couch.
And we're divorced.
And
Just
we're
like that.
I agree.
Or at least what passed for music wherever my alien teacher had come from.
I like that she's already like he's an alien.
Well,
I mean,
it's a, no,
It was
it's
this
a
weird
reasonable
single
conclusion.
guitar riff that was just repeated over and over and over again across
It
multiple
sounded
songs.
like a cat in a blender. I was still trying to find the courage to start backing up when the alien turned down the music and flipped a switch on the table. The mirror began to shimmer. Suddenly, the image of Mr. Smith was replaced by another alien face, this one just as horrible. Beyond the face, I could see a big room with other aliens bustling around. From the look of things, I figured this must be a spaceship. Nailed it. The face in the mirror said something that sounded like,
do it.
Iggenrizniks,
Fucking nailed it.
I'm so glad that wasn't me.
Oh, that's great.
The words were...
Oh, the words were low and growly.
The words
though.
were low and growly.
Way to go.
Here you go.
Broxholm.
Broxholm reporting, said Mr. Smith. The face in the mirror made some growly noises. It is good to hear our mother tongue, said Mr. Smith, or Broxholm, or whatever his name was. I cannot wait to...
Return to the ship and have this language implant removed so I can speak the true tongue and not this barbaric garble. Hey, I thought, whose language are you calling barbaric?
Clearly yours.
She can't even spell.
Did she spell something wrong?
Yeah.
What?
A few things.
She was talking about how she doesn't like how he corrects her all of her mistakes.
No, I got it.
'Cause
I
she's an
thought
idiot.
it was an actual spelling error, which would have been way fun. Which would have been just like
Yeah,
the best.
that would have been.
But before I could get too angry, I heard something else, something that sent a cold chill down my spine. The testing process is proceeding on schedule, said Broxholm. Before long, I will have selected the students I wish to bring back for study. Yes. Bring back for study? I couldn't believe my ears. My teacher was an alien.
You said the title!
Even worse, he had come to Earth to kidnap kids and take them into space.
Space! please.
Ooh, make the sound. Make the sound, Jonathan. Make the sound.
What?
The
sound.
sound.
Space. Go
The
into
space
space.
sound.
Go
Take them
into
into space.
Space.
Thank you.
Space.
All right, that's enough.
Should we do one more?
I preferred the piccolo.
Chapter?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Piccolo.
I have no idea how long we've
do one more.
been recording. Okay.
Do one more.
Chapter 5.
Here, Brian, you keep going.
How strong is an alien's nose? Wait, what the fuck is gonna happen? Is he gonna smell it? Is he gonna? All right,
She's gonna punch
We're
him in the face.
Yeah, let's take bets. Is he gonna smell her or is she gonna punch him in the nose?
She's gonna punch him in the
Smell.
nose. Punch.
Smell.
Punch.
Hold
Definitely
on.
smell.
We got one punch and one smell, Joanna.
Smell.
I think
Smell.
it's gonna
We
be
got 2
smell.
smells. 3 smells.
3 smells,
smells,
and one
one
punch.
It's gonna be like, I smell human.
Brian.
Sounds like a bad porno.
Smell delicious.
Brian, what do you think?
Sweet young girl.
Brian, don't read ahead. What do you think?
I think it's gonna be smell.
Ah, fuck you all.
Now you can be the only one that's right.
It's gonna be so good if you're right.
Just like
those are good odds.
just
I'll
like a
lord it over you.
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
like
I
a
know
whistling
you will.
narcissist.
Also, we saw the cover. He doesn't even have a nose.
Well, then
point.
what's the point of this fucking chapter?
Must
Wait,
have
go
some
smell.
Sort of
Wait.
smell receptor.
Wait a minute. Go back to the cover.
My smell
no.
glands
No,
are
no, no,
tingling.
I won't do that.
Read the goddamn book.
I won't
I'm sorry,
do that.
he wouldn't know what tingling is. He'd be like, my smell glands are flim-flamming.
What is smell? We call it Ingensfingsrar. Dragon.
A German alien?
Can you guys be every
Seriously?
guest
Right?
forever?
Yeah.
The Grogan is Smurgen. What? There's a girl in your room, you say?
A Grogan is Spriggan?
Yep.
Okay.
The
You wanna-
face on the screen smiled. At least I think it smiled. It's hard to tell with someone who looks like that. Someone who looks like that. Let's just say that all its teeth were showing. Then it made a long speech in that awful language, Grogan Ixnar. I felt like someone was grinding metal next to my ear.
Yeah, rock
Like
and
Tool.
roll. So metal.
I don't know what he said, but it made Broxholm/Smith laugh. Well, I suppose it was a laugh. Humor, cortex. His shoulders shook as if he was laughing. The sound
Was that
made
in
my
Men in Black?
stomach turn.
Man, Men in Black is a fucking great movie.
Yeah.
That shit
Yes, it
holds
is.
up.
Yeah.
The guy who plays the body that's inhabited by the alien in Men in Black is like one of the best performances ever.
Oh, yeah.
Edgar?
The whole scene
Edgar?
where he's
Vincent
like,
D'Onofrio.
Your
Yeah, when
skin's
he's
hanging
trying
off
to
your
hold-
bones.
Yeah.
yeah.
In water.
Where he's trying to
Sugar.
hold it together in front of his wife is like one of the best scenes
Yeah.
ever in any movie.
Oh, no, I was doing Men in Black 3. I was doing
Oh.
Jermaine.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
When
Jermaine Clement
Jermaine
from Men in
Clement-
Black 3. When he laughs
that's
and he's
pretty
terrifying.
good.
3's really good.
1
Most
and
three's
3
Good enough
are
to where you
amazing.
don't
Yeah,
give
2
a
is
shit
awful.
about its
I
problems.
cried when we watched 3.
Yeah.
I
It's
fucking cried in the
rough.
theater.
I don't remember 3.
cried
I don't know
at
if I've
Men in
ever
Black.
even-
It's
Yes,
really
I
good.
cried at Men in Black 3 in the theater. The shit with like his dad when he was little.
Yeah. But there's the
Brian,
scene
you're
where
heartless.
he's on like
I haven't seen it.
motorcycle.
Oh, well, oh my God, watch it.
It's really good.
Yeah, I don't know if I've
And
seen it
Josh
either.
That's the
Brolin
one that
as
they
John
made
Kay
recently.
is
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
Oh my
Josh
God,
Brolin
Josh
is
Brolin's amazing.
young Tommy Lee Jones, and he's basically doing a
love
flawless
Josh
Tommy Lee
Brolin.
Jones impression. It's incredible.
It's
And
a
wait,
great
watch
who's
it.
fucking
the,
actor.
who's the young?
Wait, it's Will
Girl.
Smith. I thought Will Smith is. Oh.
Oh wait,
She was someone, and I just
we just
looked
saw
her
her
up
in
recently.
Replicas. Alice Eve.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, replicas. That was terrible. We're not even gonna go there. But anyway, everyone should watch Men in Black.
Everyone
3.
watch Men in
It's
Black 3.
fantastic.
Noted.
Here come the Men in Black Galaxy Defenders.
Right.
I was young enough when Men in Black came out that I had to do a fucking like tap dance to that song or a jazz dance. I don't remember what
I
it was,
would
but
pay-
we definitely did a dance to the Men
I
in
would
Black song.
Pay money.
Wouldn't
to
you
watch
have rather?
do that.
Tell
Well,
me
if
you
it
have a
wasn't on those
recording of
tapes you
this.
digitized for us, then you're never gonna see
No,
it.
I would pay money to watch you do it now.
Oh, me now? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I don't remember the dance.
I would pay
and I
money
would rather
to
die.
keep you from doing it now.
Thank you, Chris.
I would rather see you do some dittos.
I would rather do some dittos.
All right, we gotta get through this goddamn chapter.
I hear that word and I shudder.
The word ditto has left my brain for like
Yeah, that's
3
remarkable.
decades.
That's crazy.
Ditto.
I don't like
Ditto.
it.
Oh my
I
God.
don't like it at all.
Brian, you know it's
like it.
your chapter, right?
I'm not the one talking.
Brian, keep going.
God,
Oh my
Brian's
God.
holding it
Go ahead,
up.
Brian.
Oh my God. I lost my place. I need to start over. The face on
Oh
the
my God.
screen. When Broxholm stopped laughing, or whatever, he reached out and turned off the screen. The other alien faded from view. Time for me to get out of there. I slithered backward on my belly along the hall and then down the stairs. What is she? Is the alien?
I know,
Girl
right?
from The Exorcist.
When I heard the alien music come on again, I relaxed a little.
Okay.
I don't know why,
funny.
for some reason, when it said alien music, my first thought was Fleetwood Mac.
I don't know why that was your thought. I don't know why Brian's thought was fucking banjo music. I'm confused by everything that just happened.
It was a Tool joke.
Yeah, it was
That was
a-
Tool.
Brian was
I mean
doing
that
a
Tool
joke
song might
again.
as well be
Oh, okay.
banjo music.
The one listener of this podcast will get that reference.
I'm trolling
so-
your one listener right now.
The one listener also, Joe?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, but he's also bringing me like so much joy.
Chris deserves joy too.
On the porch, I hesitated for a moment. Should I try to recover my note? A noise in the house made up my mind. Compared to what was behind me, any trouble I might get in because of that note was nothing.
Yeah, you
I
think?
jumped off the porch and ran all the way home, praying that Broxholm hadn't seen me.
Broxholm.
Did you ever have something awful happen to you and not really react to it until later? I think there's a word for it, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Like you almost get hit by a car on your way home from school but not start shaking until after supper.
What?
It was like that with me that afternoon.
Wow.
These books
I
are
wasn't
great. What?
It wasn't
What do you
until
want
I
me to
got
tell you?
home that what I had seen really began to sink in. I ran up to my room, took a Xanax, plowed my way through the mess and collapsed on my bed. I lay there until supper, staring at the ceiling and shaking with fear. What was, click, I going to do?
What would you do if you found out your teacher was an alien? Go to the principal? Tell your parents? Call the X-Files? Think about it for a moment. Think about it for a minute.
Call the X-Files.
You can't call the X-Files.
1-800
Call the
X-Files.
Hello, Fox Mulder?
I would like the X-Files, please.
Is this the cold cases?
Operator, put me in touch with the spookiest person at the FBI.
Can we make
Frank
that call
Black.
right now?
No, not Frank Black.
Think about it for a minute.
Hold on, Jonathan. That's our new sketch idea. It's which I know we already did like an X-Files sketch, but our new one
X-Files
it's
call
someone
line.
calling in and saying like, hello. Every time I use my house phone, it seems to call the past.
Oh, wait, no, we did like a control thing. Like the Bureau of,
Oh,
we
don't
can do it-
spoil it. I'm about to start that one.
we can do, control's so good.
This shit's so
Oh,
good.
it's so good. Okay, all right. Think about it for a minute. Imagine the conversation. Not a pretty thought, is it? The only person who might believe me was weird Peter Thompson.
Who is she, Donald Trump?
Hang on. Since when is Peter Thompson weird? He's just a book reader.
Because she's
Giving
a,
him fucking
she's a
nicknames.
dumb
Back
southerner.
then, we were
Dumb
considered
Southerner.
weird, okay?
But she never even
Jonathan-
called him weird. I don't know. I'm just saying. Well, thank
She
you
said he was
so
tall and had no friends. He's tall and lanky and has no
Reading
friends.
for fun? That doesn't make sense.
He's weird, yeah. He's weird.
Weird
And he
Peter
had-
Thompson. I decided to tell him what I had seen. If I couldn't convince him, I knew I didn't have a chance of convincing anyone. I must have looked pretty bad when I went down to dinner because my mother asked me 3 times what was bothering me. You know, moms. But then
Why are
she
you
tends to be a
shaking?
bit of a fusser, among other things. I
think
try
that says
never to let
fuser.
her hear me sneeze, because if she does, she decides I've got pneumonia and tries to pack me into bed for a week. All right, that's a slight exaggeration, but not much. She and my dad are always battling about how much freedom they should give me.
Come on, Margaret.
My dad will say.
She's in 6th grade now. You can't treat her like a baby anymore.
Oh, Edward. My mother
She's
will reply.
11.
You seem
Yeah.
to think that you can treat Susan like the same way you would a boy.
That's a whole other conversation. Not related to the fact that she's 11.
Can you believe she actually says that? Do
No.
you know
No,
the
bitch.
complexes that gives me? Do you
Oh,
know
God, poor
what
Susan.
I'm going to go through in like the next 5 to 10 years
To 20.
to 20?
This
June's going to be an important month for me eventually.
is. I was
Anyway,
just about to say.
That,
It's kind
that
of
night
like
at
a,
supper,
like-
she put her hand on my forehead and clucked about how pale I looked. She sounded like this. I think she was actually...
lady?
Yes. I think she was actually disappointed I didn't have a fever. At least then, she would have known what to do.
Jesus Christ.
Are you still upset about Ms. Schwartz, Susan? She asked, shoveling a load of
You
broccoli
just
onto
need
my
to be
plate.
doing chicken lady.
Actually, at the moment, I was upset about the broccoli.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Kid
I
me
loved
would have
broccoli.
loved
Sorry.
that.
I was not.
I loved broccoli.
I was not expecting that sentence.
I thought that was an ad lib.
Actually,
I
at
did
the
a-
moment, I
did a
was upset
Bekah.
about the broccoli. But Ms. Schwartz was a close second. I nodded weakly. What can I tell you? It wasn't Dr. Bleakman's fault, she said. In fact, he's very upset that Ms. Schwartz didn't give him more notice. I talked to Helen. She told me Ms. Schwartz didn't even have the courtesy to tell Dr. Bleakman face to face that
not doing
she
chicken lady.
was leaving. I know, I don't know what I'm doing.
Can you
Started out British.
Can you
Started out British
imagine?
and started
Yes,
we're on the
sliding.
journey.
It's awesome,
started
but can you
sliding
imagine
into
if you
German.
if you
I
had
don't
to
know what
have that conversation with your wife and she talked like that? I would shoot my brains out. If you were that annoying and that slow talking, like, and then I went to work.
I know, I do. I can do chicken lady.
I had salad for lunch.
What the
I
fuck
feel
is
like
chicken
I'm
lady?
trapped in this. Okay, hang on.
Reset.
Think kids in the hall.
Get to the hall.
I like
Think
croutons
into the hall.
occasionally.
No, you're not helping, Brian. I gotta think the strip from my body onto your plate. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, what can I tell you? It wasn't Dr. Bleakman's fault, she said. In fact, he's very upset. Mrs. Schwartz didn't give him much notice. I talked to Helen. She told me Ms. Schwartz didn't even have the courtesy to tell Dr. Bleakman face to face that she was leaving. He got a letter the first day of vacation saying that she wouldn't be back. That left him 6 days to find someone to take his place. Her place?
My teacher is
I
an
knew you
alien.
could do it.
My
I
mother
did
was
it!
a chicken.
Then
My
I'm not
mother
going
is
to
a
do it
chicken
at
Do
girl.
all.
chicken lady, Bekah.
No, I'm not doing
Do
chicken lady. Absolutely
Do
not.
chicken lady.
I think he did very well to find that handsome Mr. Smith in such a short period of
What a
time.
terrible chicken lady.
Thank you.
For the listeners who don't know what the fuck we're talking about, go watch Kids in the Hall.
Yes. Mr.
Thank you.
Smith
Or
is
go fuck yourself.
Mr. Smith is ruining our class, I said bleakly. Oh, don't be so dramatic, Susan, said Mom. I was planning to be an actress when I grow up. See, I'm planning to be an actress when I grow up. What should I be? Athletic? Besides, this so-called teacher was going to kidnap some of my classmates and drag them off to outer space. Suddenly, I realized that I had been putting off the truth. He wasn't going to kidnap some of my classmates. If he was going to... That's how it was at
Slut.
outside.
Classmates!
Classmates? If he was going to pick someone from my class, I might well be on his list.
Narcissist.
In fact, after he read that note, I might be his #1 prospect.
Narcissist.
I swallowed hard. I was dying to tell my folks what I had learned, but I knew they wouldn't believe me. That night I tried to call Peter, but I couldn't get any answer to his house. Come on, Peter, I hissed at the phone. Where are you? I need you. Can you imagine?
Come on, Peter.
So we've been watching a lot of What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, we gotta get on.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys
Have
gotta
you
watch
not
it.
watched it?
we love the movie. I keep forgetting about the show. Did
We couldn't watch the show when it first came on because we didn't have whatever it was on. But I somehow watched like a couple episodes and I was like dying the whole
Oh my
time.
god, the
Oh,
show is so much better than the
so
movie.
good.
Yeah,
I
I
It
didn't
exist.
The movie
No,
is great.
the movie's amazing and the show is better
It's better.
somehow.
Okay.
Somehow.
All right.
It's so
I didn't-
good.
We're
And
doing
it gets better.
We're
Like
doing
the
it.
second season is better than the. It gets just so fucking good.
Okay.
I think
feel like they
the
got
format,
away with something.
It
Yeah.
feels like that.
Well,
It's
I
like,
see.
who
I
let
think
them
the
put this on TV.
I'm starting to. I think we must have. Yeah.
I think the format of that like works better as a show than as a movie because like the movie I was into, but like it overstayed its welcome for me, and I
Agreed.
kind of like. But the show, like you give me in like bite-sized things,
Perfect.
and then you can change topics very quickly from
Yes.
like show to show.
Well, yeah,
that's like the
it's-
perfect.
It's
format.
like that Office format of like a documentary, but you're
Exactly.
never addressing
Right,
the fact
right,
that
right,
it's a
right.
documentary, except for rarely.
What is it? What is it on now?
FX.
Like-
Well, it's on Hulu though.
Hulu, so we can
Okay.
watch it.
Yeah, watch
yeah.
it. Watch that
Yeah.
shit.
Okay.
All right.
We're gonna.
I'm
Calm down.
won't.
All right, Jason, calm down.
Chris.
Oh,
Chris.
I hurt you. I hurt you like deeply, didn't I?
One
I let
breath.
it ring 15 times. No answer. I tried again an hour later. No answer. I was as nervous as a marshmallow at a bonfire.
Fuck are these figures of
Her
speech?
metaphors are crazy.
That is
love
Sixth
it.
grade.
That's the
metaphors.
shit a fucking southerner would say.
I was
They are in
nervous as a
Louisiana.
marshmallow on a bonfire.
No one in
I
like
was-
upstate New York would say that shit. Probably.
It's true.
Absolutely.
I was smushier than a chocolate bar and a s'more.
I don't know. Upstate, I'm sure they camp a
Louisiana
lot.
ass shit.
No, but you're right though. You're right. This is
Yeah.
some
I
like
was nervous as a marshmallow at a bonfire.
that's some shit. I
told
bet
y'all.
John Walker would be like, "Oh yeah, that's how they talk in Alabama." For sure.
I
We'll
told
have to
y'all.
ask him next time.
We will definitely ask him.
It was even worse when I had to go to school the next morning. I didn't think Broxholm knew I had been in his house. But what if I had left behind some kind of clue? Or what if he had some kind of alien super senses that would let him know I had been there?
Like all my pee when I peed around the corner.
Just how powerful was his sense of smell?
Shit.
Wrong, Jonathan.
Wrong.
You're
Would
wrong,
he know
dum-dum.
I had
Right.
been snooping by my odor?
Yeah, your piss
Ew.
odor.
I watched his nose carefully when I walked through the classroom door that morning. It didn't twitch or anything, but that didn't mean much
What the
because
fuck?
he wasn't a bloodhound.
How,
Maybe.
how early do girls start having their periods?
Oh,
depends.
wow.
Start
on
as
the
early as
girl.
like 11 or 12. But I mean,
can
there's a
smell
big
the
there's a
menstruation.
range.
No, I know there's a range. I'm just saying.
He's not
like,
a bear. Like,
He's not.
He's
a-
an
not gonna
alien.
necessarily like smell her menstruation.
Okay, I know this. You know what?
I don't like where you're going.
Here's the thing. I know this book's not gonna go there.
Yeah.
It was
Let's
just a thought I had.
Fucking hope so.
move right past that.
Yeah, like dear
I
alien
can-
overlord.
All
it's
right,
me,
we
Susan.
just
Smell
we just read
your
Remember Me. My head's in a
virility.
different place.
Oh God. All right. Maybe underneath that mask, his real nose had sniffed me out. Maybe it was sending him a message even now. There she is. That's the one who was in the house yesterday.
The pier.
The pier. I sat down. I was so tense I felt as if I would explode if anyone so much as touched me. I wanted to pass Peter a note asking him to meet me on the playground at recess, but I was in enough trouble between Sorry, I'm drunk. But I was in enough trouble because of notes already.
Wait, no, she wasn't.
Well, yeah, did she?
She's not even
she
in trouble
didn't
yet.
get the note, but
Anticipates.
like nothing about the note happened.
Not yet, yeah.
Not yet.
We stood
Just
up and
wait.
said the Pledge of Allegiance. Then Smith/Broxholm motioned me to his desk. I think you lost something yesterday, he
Shit.
said. And then he handed me my note.
Bum, 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 bum. Oh, shit!
Oh, are we done?
We're done. We're done for this episode.
All right, we made it 27%.
That's not bad.
Almost a third.
That's a chapter less than I anticipated, but you know what? Whatever. We'll figure
You
it out.
should know all of us by now.
I should, and I don't.
Yeah.
I should, and
He is Icarus.
Yeah.
He's Icarus with the concept of how much time things take.
We're gonna do all the things.
Endlessly
Oh, shit.
optimistic. That's
We did less
old
than
Jonathan.
20% of the things.
Oh yeah. Well,
How
shit.
did I not see this coming?
That was crazy. I had a great time.
Well,
I mean,
Yeah.
so many like things actually happened. Like the plot moved forward, which is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
fresh.
Unlike
Well,
I
in
really
Goosebumps.
didn't know what
Yeah.
to expect because I've never read this author. I've never read this book, even though I've heard of it. And yeah, it feels like it moves a lot faster than Goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
Where you would be on the same boring thing until like halfway through and then maybe something would happen.
Yeah.
Like,
Because he would literally write he'd write like a twist. He'd write a concept and a twist, and that would be like the last 2 chapters,
Yes.
and then he would just
Yeah.
fill it with bullshit until
Yes.
that point.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
That's how he cranks out 300 books a year.
and like a bunch of red herrings and stuff where like this, just like the real shit happened immediately.
It just is.
Like,
It just exactly is.
Not
what you
to
think.
shit on
Yes.
R.L. Stein. If I
Which
met him,
maybe-
I'd hug him. You know,
Well,
like
yeah.
obviously. But
If you're listening,
I hug him, then
L.
shit on him.
I don't
If
know.
you're listening,
deserve
R.
this.
What does the R stand for?
Yeah. What does
I don't remember.
Rusty.
Robert?
Robert
Probably?
Lewis Stein. No,
I'm
it's,
gonna
that's
guess
wrong.
Robert or
Robert Lewis.
Richard.
Rusty,
Stevenson.
lusty Stein.
Lusty Stein. No, this was great. This really this ran at a clip. Like shit
Regrettable
happened.
literature Stein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rusty.
What did you say? Wait, I'm gonna need to hear that one more time.
Regrettable
literature
literature.
style.
Love it.
Robert Lawrence.
Robert Lawrence. I was one off.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, that
Really long
That's what we all
Stein.
mole
If
on
you're
his
listening,
head.
Bob.
Oh man. All
No
right.
offense.
How does everyone feel about My Teacher is an Alien?
I love it.
I love
I
it.
love it so far.
Good.
I was
10 out of
nervous
10.
going into it because,
You had like nothing, like no
well,
preconceived.
yeah, I didn't know what it would be, so I thought maybe it would be boring. But it's been pretty weird,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, and I think if I remember correctly, there's some pretty good like twists and turns in this one.
That's exciting.
Bruce Coville is awesome.
Bruce
Bruce.
Coville.
What if we are the aliens and they're the people?
Oh my goodness. There's also there's 2 sequels to this book.
Yes,
It's
I've
a
read them all.
trilogy.
Oh, I
It's
didn't
One
know
of them
it.
has like the
fucking
best
trilogy.
title ever.
I feel like the titles of
Better
the
than
of
this.
the later
My
books
Teacher
are
Flunked the
spoilers.
Planet.
though.
Right. Yeah.
Flunked the planet.
Yeah. It's like some Douglas Adams shit for kids.
Yeah, it's like my teacher
Oh my
showed
god,
up.
that explains so much about Chris. Like that just, and I feel like I know Chris so well, but I feel like that just unlocked like a whole other partition of Chris.
And
Oh,
the
man.
crazy thing about it is that I never read this series.
That's what I was just gonna say. I'm so excited. I'm just so excited for Chris because he's never even read this book. He's experiencing this for the first time in his life.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've stared at the covers a lot in my childhood, but there was always other books of his that I read.
Oh man, we're having just a great time.
Great
It's
time.
been good.
Great time.
I
Well,
disagree.
thank you guys.
I've been miserable. I've been every second of
Fuck
it.
you.
I don't believe you. You're our one listener.
This has been awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming back and reading this with us. Is there anything that you want listeners to know about you?
I can plug my own Instagram to myself. It is joleemarshall.art.
Dot
And I'm
fart.
on TikTok. Nobody's on that.
You taking
either,
those
but
talks?
I'm
How
taking.
many L's and GH's are in that, in that
Tickety-tockety.
handle?
Oh man, it is. How do I spell my name? JOLEIGH.
Like Rachel
Marshall.
Lee Cook, but Joe Lee Marshall.
Fancy, the real fancy kind.
Yeah. Brian, you got anything? You got music and
I
shit.
am Brian, and my teacher is an alien. That's it.
That's it. That's it.
Crazy.
That's all
just
Brian needs to share.
unconnected to this episode. You
What
just have a
music?
teacher
What
that's
music
an
do you
alien.
have? You've got shit.
I don't care. My teacher's an alien.
Oh my god.
Follow Brian on Instagram at Brian Wade Music.
Yeah. Google
That's-
Brian Wade music.
Brian Wade
he's great. He's
music.
remarkable.
Brian Wade Music.
Vesta Ascension.
BrianWadeMusic.com.
If you want to ascend to the stars with the aliens, Vest Ascension.
They just came out with a
Ascend to
new
the
song.
I just posted for the first time ever publicly from Pop Sucket Theater, our sock puppet show, season 1, the Dimutor Rob play, the play within the show.
Oh shit.
I posted that recently for the public to see because it's been years, and I figured the statute of limitations is off on Kickstarter rewards.
Yeah.
10-minute
Brian score.
I sent Brian a 15-minute long nonsense play of sock puppets of of basically like me losing my mind on writing a play, and then Mark, our friend, losing his mind performing a play. I sent that to Brian and said, could you make a little bit of music for this? And what Brian made was an entire score, like a 15-minute long score that's way too good for what it is. Because what it is garbage nonsense. But then Brian made music for it that like elevates it to a level that I didn't think was possible.
Yeah, it adds emotions to it that, like, while we were writing nonsense that were just like quickly cut to in the
Like,
episodes,
cutaway jokes, yeah.
that he just elevated it just too much.
It's really beautiful.
It's,
I would
all
say
All
it's
of the
quite
music in
something.
the show, we flat out said, like, we need a better show.
I disagree that we need a better show, but I do agree that Brian made that part better than it was. Because what it was basically an afterthought, and what Brian made it was absurdly good.
Well, it was good timing because I was trying to learn how to use a bunch of software.
Good.
And you gave me 15 minutes to kind of like just, mess around.
I'm gonna call again on you eventually with Hamlet.
Oh,
Not Hamlet,
definitely.
Macbeth.
Yeah.
Macbeth.
Macbeth. Anyway,
You want it to be Scottish, do ya?
I wanted
some
to be.
bagpipes.
I wanted to be the same thing you did before.
Gustav's version.
Do
Gustav's
you want
version,
me
yeah.
to do some voices with the mummy daddy button?
What the fuck is happening?
Yes, I do. I do. Holy shit.
That's been Brian
boy.
Wade, ladies and gentlemen.
Brian's in season 3.
And that's me putting
Yeah.
together furniture in my bedroom.
Oh man.
Oh, this fucking screw doesn't fit. If you don't fucking fit, I'm gonna screw you, you little fucker.
Is that like
That's it.
the Scottish offshoot of IKEA that you're putting together?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just called Ike.
Ike. Ike.
Scottish IKEA. Ike.
That's funny.
Oh man.
But
Well,
it's spelt like AICH.
it's got a lot of
with like
of
a fucking
consonants. Too
umlaut.
many consonants in there.
The tilde.
Well, if you have listened this
Couple
far and you
Gs.
want to listen more, you should go to cactusrodeo.com. You should go to cactusrodeo.com/podcast. You should just listen to the rest of Below Grade Level and CD Reads and the
Yep.
Sketchy Show and Movie Club, which I don't even know. I don't know. We barely do that one.
We'll do it.
We'll do it again eventually. We've got 4 shows. 2 of them update regularly, and 2 of them update whenever the fuck we feel like it. And you can find them on all the things that you listen to podcasts on. That's been
Where
Headphones.
you get your podcasts.
All right.
Headphones.
Thank you
and
guys so
speakers.
much for being on our show.
Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
having us.
Thanks for having
I have nothing
us.
to plug, but I'm still offended that
I
I
have
wasn't asked to
one
plug
more
anything.
thing
Well,
to
your
say.
things to plug are our things to plug, Chris. I plugged
Very
them for
true.
you.
Let's just
If you want
wrap
to look
it
at
up.
pictures, if you want to look at
Trying
pictures
to
of my
wrap it up.
dog,
Trying to wrap it up.
if you want to look at pictures of my dog, follow me on Instagram at Chris Z Isn't Funny.
Yay.
Thank you for
Do,
listening.
do, do,
We'll see you
do,
next
do,
time
do.
for more of My Teacher is an Alien. We love you.
My 3D, 4D baby.
Below Grade Level is a Cactus Radio production. You can contact us at podcast@cactusrodeo.com. Subscribe and follow on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify, and follow Cactus Rodeo on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more entertainment and updates.